2 different colors for $99.98 at Dr. Tavel's Premium Optical.
All right, guys, lights out.
Okay, Coach.
There's nothing more exciting than a fast break. To Pizza Hut for a great supreme deal where exceptional leaping ability and blazing speed both come into play in pursuit of Pizza Hut's Supreme Pizza, loaded with 6 mouth-watering toppings. Now get 1 medium for $8.99 or better yet, 2 for just $4 more. And that's a deal worth running out for.
Pizza Hut, making it great. Get the vote you want when you see what you like at Ted's Aquamarine.
That ship was sunk on purpose. Leviathan.
I'm going inside.
Someone has discovered its secret.
What the?
A secret so terrifying. It's growing. It must never surface.
We haven't deserted you. I promise.
Leviathan. Rated R.
Starts March 17th at theaters everywhere.
Install a premium rebuild engine with a 3-year or 36,000-mile nationwide warranty.
Expect the best, get the best from the automotive specialist.
At most Mexican places, 59 cents won't get you very far. At Taco Bell, 59 cents gets you our delicious original taco.
Indianapolis continues to have the highest black infant mortality rate in the nation. We'll have details after basketball.
This is Assembly Hall in Bloomington, where tonight the Hoosiers will be looking to clinch the Big Ten title on their home court as the seniors make their last home appearance. The pregame show is next.
Indiana basketball pregame is brought to you in part by your Central Indiana Chevy dealers. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
Hello again and welcome to Indiana basketball, the pregame edition. Gary Lee along with Ted Kitchell as Indiana playing host to the Badgers of Wisconsin, trying to take it all this evening with the victory, the final home court appearance for the 6 seniors. We'll have the usual fare, plus our live in-studio guest, Randy Whitman. Now, of course, this is senior recognition night. We don't want to miss any of that. But following tonight's contest, we'll take you immediately to Mackey Arena for Purdue and Ohio State. And as soon as that game is over, come back and join us because we'll have highlights of senior recognition. And don't forget the pregame at 12:30 on Saturday for Indiana and Iowa. So once again, senior farewell tonight. And Saturday, 12:30, Indiana and Iowa. We'll take a quick break and come back with more of our show. Stay with us.
Your local Chevy dealer asks, when it's Chevy Cavalier versus Toyota Corolla, who wins? Recently, in an independent survey, Chevy Cavalier sold for $3,400 less than a comparably equipped Toyota Corolla. $3,400 less for Cavalier, with a longer wheelbase and fuel injection versus their carburetor. The facts are in. When it's Chevy Cavalier versus Toyota Corolla, Chevy wins, with more car for a lot less money at your local Chevy dealer. That's why in Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
Easter is early this year, but Burlington Coat Factory is ready with a huge sale of children's clothes. For girls, there are pretty spring dresses, lots of styles. Now 1/3 to 1/2 off Burlington's original low prices. For boys, there are top quality single and double-breasted suits, sale priced at only $34.75. And great-looking zip-line raincoats, only $39.75. Remember, Easter is early this year, so get to Burlington Coat Factory's Easter sale now.
If you're in the market for high-performance tires, there's only one place to go, Scheid Tire Centers. Scheid carries the complete line of General XP2000 high-performance radials for your car and the Grabber Series radials for your pickup, all designed to provide you with the handling and confidence you demand. Quiz time. Who makes true high-performance radials? General. Where can you get them? Your local Scheid Tire Centers. Just get on your Generals and go.
As difficult as threading a needle or taking a step, the victim of stroke or other injury has one goal. In South Central Indiana's only inpatient rehab center, patients make careful progress towards regaining independence and returning to a fuller life in their own home sweet home. The sweet, simple goals of living. The new rehab center of Bloomington Hospital can make all the difference. All it takes is a phone call.
Welcome back to the IU pregame show. I wish we had 60 minutes this evening to reminisce with Kitchell and Randy Whitman, and unfortunately we won't have time to tell all the great stories they have to talk about. But right now, it's been a good week already without even tipping it off this evening, because yesterday the announcement came, really no surprise, that Jay Edwards is the Big Ten Player of the Year.
He is the Big Ten Player of the Year. Very deserving. I think that the only other person that was even in contention was maybe Glenn Rice. But Jay has just come through for IU all year. I would hate to think, having to play without Jay Edwards, and I think that's why, he definitely got the nod. Here we take a look at some of the plays he's had this year. Obviously, this is the play that sticks in all of our minds. Last play IU had against Illinois, although there was one other play, but Jay hit an unbelievable jump shot. To me, he was not only, most valuable in Indiana, but he was the most valuable player in the Big Ten.
Also, just this afternoon, more accolades for Indiana. Bob Knight again, the UPI Big Ten Coach of the Year, and Eric Anderson, the freshman, the newcomer of the year.
Again, that's not really surprising to me. I think that Coach Knight has done a tremendous job. I think everybody that's watched him throughout the country, I would be very surprised if he's not named Coach of the Year nationally. Eric Anderson has been a very good freshman. Hasn't played extremely well of late, but started out very strong, and for a freshman has played very well.
Let's take a look now at the Big Ten team. First team, AP, all Big Ten. There's Jay again. Jay Burson, who ended his career with an injury from Ohio State. Glenn Rice, who was second in balloting for Player of the Year. Ed Horton from Iowa, and Nick Anderson from Illinois. Let's take a look now at the Big Ten standings. Once again, Indiana looking to clinch sole possession of the Big Ten championship. They are at 14-2. Illinois still with a shot at 13-4. Then it's Michigan, 11-5, Iowa, and Wisconsin. In the second five, we have Minnesota at 8-9, Ohio State 6-10, Purdue 6-10, Michigan State 5-12, and Northwestern at 12-4. Looking now at action from the Big Ten this evening. Once again, immediately following this contest, we go to Mackey. It's Ohio State and Purdue. Also this evening, number 9, Michigan, playing at Northwestern. Last week, a case of perhaps running out of steam. We'll have some comments from Coach Knight regarding keeping the team fresh. We had it in control, and Joe Hillman yesterday was talking to Chuck Marlowe and said, we had it. We had it to win, and we didn't.
They definitely had it to win. Hey, you did a great job on those standings. Thanks, for not, I didn't have to do that tonight. But I thought the team played extremely well. Illinois is a very, very good basketball team. IU obviously had the chance to win the basketball game when you're up 13. Joe Hillman did an excellent job of getting them in that position. He hit a three-pointer here. He comes down here. They move the ball around good. He makes a good shot fake. Illinois does a very poor job defensively. Not only gets an easy shot, but then he missed the shot, gets his rebound, takes it back up. Joe really showed his team leadership against a very, very good team, especially when Jay and Len and some of the other guys didn't get off to a quick start. Jay does hit a jump shot there. He did get involved somewhat in the offense, but obviously he was waiting for the end where he could get in the spotlight. IU very poor defensively, gets out of position. Because they get out of position there, then people have to come over and help. When the inside people have to come over and help, then it gets us out of rebounding position. Here Brian Sloan makes a good pass, makes a good fake, and again, Joe Hillman not only shot the ball very good, but really caught Illinois off balance, taking the basketball to the hole all day. Lyndon Jones comes off a screen, gets a good jump shot. Started the second half, Lyndon Jones hit like 3 or 4 shots and really got us off to a good start in that second half. IU, I think, scored 6 or 8 of the first points coming out the second half. Again, Lyndon drives coast to coast and really got us off to a good start. We like to get off to a good start in the first 5 minutes. Again, he drives, and that's when we really should have taken the game over, and then we let Illinois come back into the game. Here, a good defensive position. Lyndon takes the ball once again. Gets it out to Joe. Joe, again, taking the ball to the bucket. Illinois, I think at this point, Illinois was really ready to die if we would have given them the opportunity, and yet they didn't. On this play, I'm not going to say a whole lot. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I've beat it all year, and it doesn't seem to do any good. Maybe he should stay home and watch this show. But he continues to, you know, try to dunk that basketball rather than lay it off the board. Jay Edwards with a shot that all of us have seen many times this week, just tremendous one-on-one play. And then, obviously, the last shot, Nick Anderson. I think that you can look at that shot time and time again, and everybody can say, why didn't Coach Knight have somebody on the passer? Why did he call Jamal Meeks up the floor? You can say whatever you want to, but when you really take a look at the shot, you know, Nick Anderson hit a heck of a shot. He's 35 feet away, and Jay Edwards is on him. You know, he's probably only going to hit that shot 1 out of 15, 20 times, and that happened to be the one time.
You live by the last-second shot, you die by the last-second shot on occasion. Well, yesterday at Assembly Hall, prior to practice, I talked to Coach Knight about the importance of keeping the players fresh with the final 2 contests in the regular season.
In our game Sunday with Illinois, we had to be able to play another 3 minutes the way we were playing. At 8:40, we had an 11-point lead. We were playing. We were just starting to hang on at that time. But we needed another 3 or 4 minutes. Then I think we could have hung on. We could have shot free throws. We could have been tough for us to lose that lead in the last 5 minutes. But in the next 3 minutes, I made the comment to our coaches with 10 minutes to go that the next 4 minutes were going to decide the game, and that if we could maintain our position through the next 4 minutes, we'd win the game in the last 6 minutes then. I felt without it, but we just couldn't do it. We had played 4 games in 10 days. We'd been on the road for 6 days. I probably practiced maybe 20 or 30 minutes longer on Saturday than I should have. We got into a lot of things where our freshness was pushed to the limit in preparation for Sunday's game, just because of the necessity to prepare. And I think all of those things put together probably had us in a position, and I also think that our players, and I think they would feel this way today, felt that maybe they were a little tireder than they were at a given moment toward the latter quarter of that particular ball game. So we've given that thought as we prepare for the Wisconsin game, and all we want is for us to be as alert as we possibly can be.
Physically, I hear stories that there may be a problem with the knee of one of your players, Jeff Oliphant.
Jeff slipped on the ice on Sunday night and probably tore a cartilage in the knee that will be operated on tomorrow, and so we'll lose him at least for the next couple of weeks.
Against Wisconsin the first time around, it took an overtime victory. At this point in the season, does the coach change anything or simply go with the game plan you've had all season long?
Well, we don't have a season game plan. We set up what we're going to do on a game-by-game basis, and we'll certainly do that for this game.
Randy Whitman joins us as the pregame continues. Stay with us.
Busy, busy, busy. That's you all over. But that's why that great green growing group of banks is all over central Indiana. With a card for cashing personal checks at any Merchants National Company office, for depositing to your checking or savings account anytime at any Green Machine, and for feeling good all over. The Green Machine card. More boing for your buck, only from that great green growing group of banks, the Merchants National Companies.
Folks everywhere are tipping their hats to the 1000 series tractors from Ford. They're a favorite with farmers. Landscapers love them. Terrific for buildings and grounds. They're right with ranchers. Great for gardens. And okay at the old corral. 6 models, 13 to 32 horsepower. No matter what kind of hat you wear, one of them is sure to fit.
Bright Equipment, Indianapolis, 787-2201.
The '89 Fleetwoods are in stock now at Stout's RV Sales. We've got the best selection in the Midwest. See Fleetwood's Ultimate Luxury Coach, the Limited. Check out Southwind Motorhomes, including the all-new 36-foot tag axle and plenty of Tioga Minis to choose from. Your best deal on Fleetwoods is at Stout's RVs. Why go anywhere else?
After the sale is done, Stout RVs is #1.
Your local Chevy dealer asks, when it's Chevy Corsica versus Toyota Camry, who wins? Recently, in an independent survey, Chevy Corsica sold for $2,600 less than a comparably equipped Toyota Camry. $2,600 less for Corsica with a longer wheelbase, more overall room, and a better warranty. The facts are in. When it's Chevy Corsica versus Toyota Camry, Chevy wins with more car for a lot less money at your local Chevy dealer. That's why in Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
This was the scene in the 1981 NC2A championship game between the Hoosiers and Tar Heels of North Carolina. Late in the first half, with the Heels leading 26-25, Isaiah Thomas kicks the ball to Randy Whitman, who nails the jumper to give the Hoosiers the lead for good, 27-26. The Hoosiers, of course, went on to win that championship game, 63-50. We have in the studio two members of the championship squad. You've seen Ted all season. We are delighted to have with us Randy Whitman, and perhaps we should have a screen of back home again in Indiana. Welcome home, Randy.
Well, Gary, it's nice to be back. Being raised here and born here, it's nice to come back to the family and friends and be able to play here in front of them now.
You know, I mentioned earlier we should have an hour-long show for you two guys to reminisce. It was a delight upstairs in the office hearing you two tell some stories that can never be told again on television or radio. But obviously you have a friendship, a special bond that goes back a number of years.
Well, we really do. You know, we met out of our senior year of high school at the Indiana All-Star Games and have really been the closest friends since.
And roommates.
Well, and roommates. And really the reason they brought me back to Indiana is, you know, I hear he's gotten into some trouble again on this show, and, you know, I've had to bail him out a lot of times in college, and here it is again. They told, you know, you asked me to come on the show to help him out.
Well, now, I hear he was real slob in college. As a roommate, was he?
Well, I think you people out there in the audience can probably tell that from him being on this show that obviously he
Mr. GQ?
He picks his own clothes out.
Hey, I'm on this show for my expert analysis. You know, I'm not on here to look good.
Obviously, that's
if we want somebody to look good, we'll get Dockage.
Let's talk about the Hoosiers this year. Traveling as much as you do in the pros, do you have a chance to watch Indiana play?
Well, I've had an opportunity to see him play 4 or 5 times, and you know, Coach has just done a fabulous job with him. I think what he's done this year, he's gotten every player to play the role that he's asked of them, and they really have done that each game, and I think that's why they've surprised a lot of people and have been in ball games and have got a 2-game lead in the Big Ten.
I think this honor of UPI Coach of the Year was the 6th for Coach Knight, and I'm guessing that perhaps this could be his best coaching job of all if you see what has transpired over the course of the season, where they were to begin with and where they are now.
No doubt about it. You know, Ted and I always talk before the season gets underway, and I really thought they might have a tough time this year with the people they've lost, and with Jay coming back from the troubles he had early on. A lot of people forget about that. But they've just really played well each week.
Now, you know, he did do a great job this year, but the year that Whitman was his last year, you know, Whitman averaged 20 points a game. To get him to average 20 points a game, I think that's a hell of a coaching job because he has very little talent, and it's hard to get him to shoot the ball. So, you know, Coach did a great job that year, too.
Again, Gary, we have to go to the public with this, and they remember back when we were in school, for me to average 20 points, Kitchell had to get hurt and leave the team for me to be able to see
you could get that many shots.
Exactly.
Well, now, when he was down in the back, were you the nursemaid as well?
Well, again, that's what I'm saying. I'm always here to bail him out, and he's the one usually he gives up. You know, we are in a tight race in '83 for the Big Ten championship, and all of a sudden he disappears. The last 3 games, we have to win
I wanted
3
to see
games.
if he could.
You did your part. It's up to Randy.
He did a great job. He pulled us through those last 2 or 3 games, and you know, Randy ended up being MVP of the league, and he's doing very well in the pros right now. And you know, it is extremely, you know, we're all extremely happy to have him back here in the city.
Now, I realize we're supposed to talk basketball here, but as roommates, you tell me now, who was the chauffeur? Who had the car?
Well, of course, Ted did. I wouldn't have it any other way than to have him drive me around.
So Ted had the car,
yes.
And he was your chauffeur in college.
Yeah, and I still have the same car that I had in college because I'm a poor guy, you know, working on TV. Whitman's got these new cars playing the pros and stuff. Is he driving me around? No. So
are these cars that go by initials that he's driving?
Yeah, I think they do.
Let's talk about Jay Edwards. What type of potential does he have for a pro career?
Well, it's tough to say right now for sure. You know, he's a sophomore. Hopefully he'll stay in school the 2 years, and I think he will. That'll give him the extra benefit, I think, of making it in the pros. One thing you have to worry about, he's not physically built real strong, but the games I've seen, he hasn't been pushed around a lot out on the floor. So one thing he's able to do, he's able to create something on his own, which, again, you guys talked about early in the show here, the shots he has made this year. You don't get to see that a lot during the course of a game because of the style of play Coach Knight wants run. But when it comes down to crunch time, he wants the ball, and that's very important. And I think that's a key ingredient that I think he's got a very good chance of making it in the NBA.
I have heard pro basketball coaches, for both of you guys, say that perhaps a ball player coming out of the Bob Knight Indiana program is better prepared to play in the NBA simply because playing smart basketball. You concur with that? Your preparation was sufficient?
Well, there's no doubt about that, Gary. I have a lot to give to Coach Knight. I think he has a lot to do with where I am today. And just mentally, I think it's so much coming through 4 years, and Ted and our case, 5 years of playing underneath him. Mentally, I was so much sharper and tougher coming into the NBA than the kids from other programs. And that, in our league, is something that's very important because of the long schedule we have.
I think as we look back in the years to come at basketball seasons, this one will be significant. We just talked about how far the ball club has come. Let's talk about chemistry and how important that intangible is to the success in basketball or any sport for that matter. Ted?
Well, obviously the chemistry is very important. I think when I talked to Randy before the year, I really didn't feel like we would be a team that would really, contend for the Big Ten title. I thought that Michigan and Illinois were much better. I still feel that they're athletically much better than IU. But the chemistry is very important. Joe Hillman's done an excellent job as being a leader. The team has come together very well. Jay Edwards has hit some great shots. Lyndon Jones has been a floor leader. And they've got some good play out of Todd Jadlow at times, and they've got pretty consistent play out of a freshman in Eric Anderson. So the chemistry has really come together. I'm, hopefully they'll do well in the NCAA tournament this year, but I'm really looking forward to the next couple years and, how that chemistry will hopefully help continue to improve.
Guys, we need to take a break. We'll come back with more of the pregame show, including some comments from Steve Yoder from Wisconsin, so stay with us.
As of April, Tom Raper, Richmond, Indiana, has been in business 25 years. His inventory is overstocked, so Tom's offering pre-anniversary sale prices now. New and used motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, campers, truck caps, even mobile and sectional homes. Thanks to Tom Raper, RV living and manufactured housing are more affordable than ever. But hurry, these sale prices can't last long. It's absolutely worth the drive to Tom Raper's gigantic indoor showroom. I-70 exit 149A, Richmond, Indiana. Closed Sunday.
Everyone's talking about our deal of the century. Hi, I'm Sherry Mitchell, sales manager for Century Car Phones. Last year, I sold more car phones than the entire sales staff. And at Century, we deal in experience and good prices on car phones for business or pleasure. My sales staff thinks I'm the best sales manager ever and have voted me Sales Manager of the Year. Century can match your needs with the right car phone. Nobody does it better. For the deal of the century, you have our word on it.
Your local Chevy dealer asks when it's Chevy Beretta versus Toyota Celica, who wins? Recently, in an independent survey, Chevy Beretta sold for $3,800 less than a comparably equipped Toyota Celica GT. $3,800 less for Beretta. With a longer wheelbase, more overall room, and a better warranty. The facts are in. When it's Chevy Beretta versus Toyota Celica GT, Chevy wins with more car for a lot less money. At your local Chevy dealer. That's why in Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
Get a Green Machine card and deposit your paycheck anytime you diddly darn well please. Get a Green Machine card and cash personal checks at merchants, national companies all over Central Indiana. Where you look so good, they give you money. Get a Green Machine card and get more boing for your buck from the merchants, national companies, that great green growing group of banks.
Whoa.
So Randy is
whoa,
the answer to that trivia question.
Who played more minutes? You know, he got a lot more floor time, everything. You know, when I got in there, I was very productive. It's just that Whitman wouldn't let me get on the floor very often, and then he was a guard. He brought the ball up. He didn't let me have the ball very often.
But then again, Gary, we talked about chemistry, knowing your roles. It took Kitchell 2 years to know what his role was. So, I mean, that's where the minutes came. I was a better adjuster to the college game, I think, than what he was.
You adapted well immediately is what you're saying.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say.
Ted was slow.
He's still struggling.
Tonight, Wisconsin, the Badgers, Steve Yoder's in his 7th year as the coach of Wisconsin. He talked earlier this evening with Howard Chuck Marlowe.
Always our pleasure to be able to talk to a man of this gentleman's caliber, Coach Steve Yoder. I have to echo what was said to you just a moment ago. This has been a great season for you. You've done an excellent job. You capped it off by saying you hope it's not over. I hope you have to go maybe one more game to keep it from being over, because this is an important game for Indiana as well this evening.
Well, it really is. It's important for them so they can win the Big Ten Conference Championship, get the #1 seed in the Midwest Regional. It's important for us so that we can get into the NCAA tournament. We feel if we play well tonight, we've got a chance. If we don't play well, we know it's going to be an uphill battle. But if we play well, we think we've got a chance here tonight. Then we go on to Michigan State on Saturday.
Steve, you've had what I think all teams would like to have, and that is good striking balance between the inside and the outside game in Danny Jones and Trent Jackson.
Yes, we have. Most of the year that's been true, Chuck, and that's been critical for us. We played pretty good defense along the way as well. We've not turned the ball over very often. We only average 12 turnovers a game. That's another critical thing tonight. I think tonight, for us to be successful against Indiana's club, we've got to be a great ball handling team tonight. I mean, we've got to handle the ball well tonight. We can't panic in any situations. It's always tough playing in here with 17,000 people. No, we don't have many fans in here tonight, Chuck, you know that. But I think our guys are fairly loose, and they know the significance of the game, and I don't think we're uptight about anything. It's time for us to play another good game on the road, so hopefully we can do that tonight.
You've rubbed on something, and just very, very briefly, let me ask you, one thing that you can coach into a team is patience. Has it been hard to bring that out of this squad this year?
Well, it's not near as hard as it's been in the past. This team has better ball handling skills, better fundamental skills than some of the teams we've had in the past. When you have to work on fundamentals all the time at this level, you know, there's so many other things you'd like to work on. We spend so much time on fundamentals, which is good. I think you need to do that. But this club here has caught on to a style of play that's been effective for us. We do have Danny Jones inside. We got Trent Jackson outside. And we've got a decent supporting cast. Not a great supporting cast, but a decent supporting cast.
Well, have a great end to your season, but have some mercy on us.
Well, we're going to do our best just to play well here tonight, Chuck, and then go on to Michigan State.
And by the way, Steve Yoder was runner-up to Bob Knight for coaching honors in the Big Ten. Senior recognition night, how important it is for the seniors to get that recognition before the home crowd?
Well, it's very emotional night, I think. Coming back your last time home at the home floor, your parents probably are there. It's very emotional. I know it's tough for me, especially the fact that Ted was hurt at the time, and that was very special to me.
More importantly, very few people have ever lost a senior, so it puts a little pressure on you.
We'll take this break and come back. Stay with us.
Richard, let's make a deal. You loan me your new Cutlass Supreme and I'll fill her up. Dad, Olds gave me a year's supply of Amoco gasoline. Marilyn, $50 to use your new Tornado.
I got $1,500 back from Olds.
Sharon, need help financing your Cutlass Calais?
I got 4.9 financing. Sorry.
This is not your father's Oldsmobile.
Hey, kid.
This is the new generation of Olds.
Choose from 3 great deals on any new Olds. See your Hoosier Olds family now.
There are some drips you can't do anything about. But you won't have to worry about drips again if you own a Moen faucet. That's why we give them a lifetime limited warranty against leaks and drips. So you won't be bothered by drips again. Hey, is that a faucet or what?
See the complete line of Moen faucets at Carlisle Plumbing in Indianapolis. Call 244-7088. And in Bargersville and Martinsville, call Earl Gray & Sons at 422-8066 or 342-4641.
Mark's RV must reduce their new and used inventory before February 28th. No reasonable offer refused. For comfort, luxury, and affordability, check Mark's RV. In addition to our wide selection of new RVs, Mark's has many excellent used RV show trades. Check Mark's RV, because at Mark's, the price of luxury just went down.
Check Mark's RVs.
WR Air Services began by personally handling your critical air freight shipments. Then we expanded into trucking by offering guaranteed overnight LTL service in the Midwest. Now, with the completion of our public warehouse, WR Air Services is able to meet your storage requirements, whether it is a few cartons to free up that necessary office space or a major distribution program. So throw a call my way. A phone call.
Quiz time. Who makes true high-performance radials? General. Where can you get them? Your local Scheid Tire Centers. Just get on your Generals and go.
Once again, it's a big night for the seniors, so don't forget, following the big doubleheader this evening here on Channel 4, senior farewell highlights following Ohio State and Purdue. And we have one more Indiana contest for you coming up on Saturday. Pregame at 12:30. It's Indiana on the road, the Carver Hawkeye Center in Iowa City. So right now, let's take you to Assembly Hall for Indiana and Wisconsin. We thank Randy Whitman for joining us. Now, Indiana basketball, Chuck and Ladd.
Well, it's a big game for Indiana tonight. A win by the Hoosiers gives them the Big Ten title outright. But Wisconsin is strong inside, and an excellent outside shooting team. That should be a good game. Indiana versus Wisconsin coming up next. Indiana University basketball. Brought to you in part by your Central Indiana Chevy dealers. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy. By Bank One, we're 18,000 people who care. And by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Indiana University basketball is also brought to you in part by Hook's Dependable Drugstores.
It is a big game tonight, and a standing room only crowd at Assembly Hall in Bloomington to watch the Hoosiers versus the Badgers of Wisconsin. Hello, everyone. Chuck Marlowe with John Laskowski. And, John, if anything ticked right down to a must game, this has to be it.
Well, this is it. This is what you want it, though. You win today, you win the Big Ten championship, and we've heard Coach talk so many years about having their destiny in your own hands, and they sure do today.
One slipped away Sunday.
Yeah, it did. Jay makes a great shot. In fact, had to go over the backboard from the angle we're standing at right here. But Illinois makes a good play. Wisconsin's a tough team. They beat everybody in the Big Ten this year except Purdue and Indiana. Indiana's trying to change that today.
Well, let's hope they don't, and we'll be back with the starting lineups in just a minute.
Son, getting those chores done, aren't you?
I'll get right to it, Dad.
In the driveways, the backyards, the playgrounds, and the barns, it's a part of growing up in Indiana, where the tradition of great basketball begins.
Time out, son. The Hoosiers are on.
And here is where great basketball continues. It's time now for Hoosier Basketball, brought to you by your local Chevy dealer. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
For the pride, for the dream, for the love, for the team, for the sweat and for the drive, for the reason you strive.
For all you do, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood aged Budweiser.
There's something I want to say here to my cousin George. George, you know that money you inherited from Aunt Frida? after the four cats got theirs? I know you stashed in the guest room closet, George. If you kept it at Bank One, you'd qualify for Blue Max. Free checking, great deals on credit cards, loan discounts, travel rebates. George, Blue Max could save you a bundle. Pull yourself together, will you, big fella?
Blue Max. New from the 18,000 people who care.
By the way, George, don't forget the tax refund you hid in the freezer.
Nobody likes to stand in line. So we've made a corporate commitment at Marsh to eliminate lines at checkout counters. Our promise to you is this. If more than 3 people are waiting to check out at any Marsh store, we'll open another checkout counter. And we'll keep it open until the line has been eliminated. Our philosophy at Marsh is very simple. You value your time, and we value you.
You look at Coach Knight in his 18th year looking for his 410th win here at Indiana. The Hoosiers defeated Wisconsin the last time, but it wasn't by much, 3 points in overtime. And you can bet that this entire coaching staff for both Indiana and the Badgers is going to look at this game with very, very competitive eyes. Now, let's get set for tonight's game. Here's Chuck Crabb with the starting lineups.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Indiana University welcomes you to the Assembly Hall and this evening's Big Ten game. Let's meet the starting lineups. For Wisconsin, at one forward, a 6'5" sophomore from Pontiac, Michigan, number 23, Willie Sims. And for Indiana, at forward, a 6'9" freshman from Chicago, Illinois, number 32, Eric Anderson. The other forward for the Badgers, a 6'6" junior from Rockford, Illinois, number 50, Danny Jones. And at the other forward for Indiana, a 6'2" senior from Glendale, California, number 44, Joe Hillman. The center for Wisconsin, a 6'10" senior from Baraboo, Wisconsin, number 52, Darren Schubing. In the middle for Indiana, he's a 6'9" senior from Salina, Kansas, number 11, Todd Jadlow. At one guard for Wisconsin, a 6'6" senior from Grafton, Wisconsin, number 30, Tom Molaski. At guard for Indiana, he's a 6'4" sophomore from Marion, Indiana, number 3, Jay Edwards. At the other guard for Wisconsin, a 6'1" senior from Bolingbrook, Illinois, number 32, Trent Jackson. Rounding out Indiana's starting lineup, at guard, a 6'1" sophomore from Marion, Indiana, number 4, Lyndon Jones. The head coach for the University of Wisconsin at Madison in his 7th season, Steve Yoder. The head coach for the Hoosiers, now in his 18th season in Bloomington, Bob Knight. Our colors this evening are being presented by the Army ROTC Color Guard under the command of Pershing Rifles Cadet Captain Errol Hupman. We join now with the Indiana University Basketball Pep Band being conducted by Professor Stephen W. Pratt, the featured vocalist, Professor Roy Samuelson. Let us pay honor to America. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets raged there, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that the flag
So for Indiana, it comes down to whether or not they will be able to put away the Wisconsin Badgers tonight and claim undisputed ownership of the Big Ten championship for 1989, or whether they will have to wait until next week or next Saturday at Iowa City against the Hawkeyes. The officials for tonight's game, a very familiar crew: Jim Bain, Phil Bova, and Mike Stockner. Bain is the referee. Last, we talked about the inside-outside game of Wisconsin. Trent Jackson outside, averaging 19.6 points a game. And Danny Jones, the very powerful 6'6" junior forward from Rockville, Illinois, 20.1.
You'll see a lot of scoring out of them. And you look at the graphic there. Indiana's won 18 in a row. Steve Yoder's 0-13 against Indiana. But if they put Jackson and Jones on the same side of the floor, it's very difficult to help off of them. Because as you look at the matchups now, Schubring's not usually the starting center. Portman is, but they've got him in there now.
And Wisconsin controls the opening tap. This is Molaski, who plays both down and out. He's a swing man. Sims on top, guarded by Edwards. And they rotate Molaski around to the right side.
They want to go to Jackson and Jones a lot. Jackson's a good three-point shooter also.
There's Jones, and boy, that is tough range. Danny Jones with the first basket, and Wisconsin leads.
He likes to back up with his back to the basket, just like that in the block. He gets it, takes that turnaround. Big, strong kid, of course. Indiana tried to get him, but he opted to Wisconsin.
Hillman on top, playing his last game at Assembly Hall. Edwards drops it back to Jadlow, also a senior. Oh, look at Edwards slide and score.
Well, he really covers a lot of ground, and those two dribbles went all the way across the lane. And again, what looks like an off-balance shot for most players, Jay seems to take pretty easily. He makes that one.
Opening minute of action, and our first foul of the game will go against Lyndon Jones. As making a quick cut on the baseline, Willie Sims draws the foul.
I mentioned senior night. 6 seniors on Indiana's team today. And it's always been quite an evening, usually a Saturday afternoon. This year, though, on the schedule, it becomes a Thursday night.
Thrown away. So Wisconsin, and in the pregame that we had with Steve Yoder, that's one of the things he was worried about, turning the ball over, and that's the first turnover in the early going of this contest. Jones.
Although Wisconsin is best in the league at turnovers, fewest turnovers, I should say, and so they have done a good job of that this year.
Anderson on a little weave. Hillman from the free throw area, but it won't fall. Now Jackson takes his time, tries to set Jones behind a pick, and does. But nothing develops. Lasky back to Sims. Wisconsin showing some good patience. Jackson with a good ball fake. High arching shot for 2.
Hillman gave good help that time, but you can't leave your feet. Lyndon Jones left his feet that time and gave Jackson that chance to take a good shot.
4-2 Wisconsin. We have played 2 minutes. Anderson from outside. Eric showing good range. Well, if this is the kind of game we're going to have, Laz, we can have some points scored here this evening.
Yeah, but both teams, in fact, are 1 and 2 in points allowed.
Molaski, as Anderson failed to recognize, got off the hip of Edwards, and Anderson didn't recover to help.
Both teams around 67 points a game, giving up 67 a game, but it didn't look like it there as Indiana gave up the baseline on an easy drive.
Down to Jadlow. He moves into the paint, puts it up, it won't fall. Right into the hands of Hillman. Blocked, he'll go to the line on the foul. And that is against Willie Sims. It makes a quick outlet down the right side of the floor, almost like an exit.
Hillman really stays after this well. Watch Jadlow. There's Hillman coming out of your picture. Now he's back in, and Jay taps it, and Hillman picks it up. And right there's the foul. Sims gets called.
Each team with 1 foul as Hillman readies the free throw short. Boy, Indiana's free throw shooting has really dropped off. Hillman, a great free throw shooter during his junior year, and the early part of this year is down to 78%.
Saw him lean forward after he let that go, which meant he knew it was going to be a little short, and that's what happened. He makes the second one.
Wisconsin 6-5. And we're 2.5 minutes into this game.
Wisconsin taking its time, working it around. Schubring getting the surprise start over Portman.
Good help by Jay back on Jones.
A little bump. They're going to call that, and that's not going to go. But inside Schubring as Indiana's blockout breaks down.
See, they forced a bad shot there, but it doesn't do any good if you're going to let the guy come right in and make the easy tap. Break down on the blockout.
Underneath the Hillman, knocked away. Steal by Wisconsin. Here comes Jackson in the near side. He really wanted to put a step on Jones, but Jones with good position. That's a turnover. Second turnover of the game for Wisconsin. And Indiana on that last steal has picked up its first. This crowd in excess of 17,300 begins to come alive. They want to get their team started early. Edwards from outside, that's well off the mark to Molaski. Now Wisconsin slows it up with a 3-point lead. They'll try to get some semblance of patience going here. Step in by Lyndon Jones. And now Edwards slows up as Jones had used up his dribble. Right through the hands of Jadlow, almost lost it out of bounds. Underneath to Jadlow, knocked away, Indiana ball.
Indiana just bobbling the ball. You saw Jadlow miss the pass, and just haven't got that offense real smooth yet.
Well, Laz, you know from practical experience out there on the court that it really boils down to the level of concentration you're playing at. Outside again, Eric Anderson. And Indiana can use that kind of an outside game.
Yeah, Eric's had 2 good shots now. His feet have been square. The pass has come to him. He's kept Indiana in the game, still down 1.
8-7's the score. And we have 15 minutes and 35 seconds left to play in the first half. Just underway at Assembly Hall in Bloomington. Here's Jones. Jadlow playing on him. Jones will fire. It won't go. But look how hard they crashed the board. That's Sims getting that big rebound and putting it back in. Offensive rebounds can be the downfall of this Indiana team.
Right, you see that's the 4th point now for Wisconsin. Made a big difference in the game.
And a whistle and a foul inside. Schubring over the shoulder of Jadlow is called for his first personal and the second against the Badgers.
Wisconsin's had a good year, Chuck. They're 17-9 overall, 8-8 in the conference as we have our first timeout.
You're watching the Indiana University Basketball Network, where the Hoosiers trail the Badgers by 3.
5, 6, 7, 8. Dance. Get on your feet. Feel the fire. Feel the heat. And move to the groove of the beat. 2, 3, 4.
I can't stop it. I bebop it, but it's got a thirst. You just can't top it. I can't beat it.
Coca-Cola Classic.
Can't beat the feeling.
Pella presents the difference between ordinary windows and windowscaping. Windows. Windowscaping. Windows. Windowscaping. If you like what you see, talk to the windowscaping experts only at your Pella window store.
Discover the Pella difference at one of these locations near you.
Well, here's what we were talking about, offensive rebounds and how important they are in a game, and especially a game like this, any game for that matter. But when you're playing against powerful inside teams such as Wisconsin, you just can't let these things happen.
All right, here's Jones. That's good protection on that shot, but look what happens inside. Anderson gets sandwiched in. Sims comes up with an easy layup.
Okay, we have something special we want to tell you about a big game coming up in May, and we'll do that after we have our next opportunity. Up off the glass, no good. And a really bad shot by Jay Edwards. Only caught the top of the backboard. So trailing by 3, Indiana fails to capitalize on that inbounds. Jackson cutting through the middle. This is Molaski. And a good wheel by Sims down to the baseline. Blocked away by Anderson. Right back into the hands of Jones for 2.
Eric made a good block there as Sims had to juggle that shot. The crowd get a little restless now. It's 12-7. Indiana really forcing their offense, Chuck. They really got to take some time and get good shots. Anderson's the only one who's taken good shots so far.
Here's Hillman. He has a post. That's Jadlow. Back to Hillman for three. And that's not going to go. Jadlow tries to keep it alive, but Sims gets the board.
Wisconsin's got a big team in there with Schubring and Jones, and they're really controlling the boards really at both ends.
Bob Knight's going down looking at his bench. He's going to bring in Cree Smith here in a minute. Cree, coming off an injury, has really had, there's an offensive foul. Sims just lowered his shoulder, and Hillman had good position. Second on Sims. Let's take a look at these, Steve Yoder.
As I mentioned the open, Wisconsin's defeated all the Big Tens except Purdue and Indiana. I mentioned Indiana wants to change that. Indiana doesn't want to change that. They want to continue that streak on Wisconsin. There you see Cree Smith. He's in the ball game, as well as Jamal Meeks right there with the ball.
Well, Cree has come off a bad knee and has recovered well, has really been playing some good practice ball. Here's Smith, looks inside, works it out. Jamal down to the baseline, no foul, up on the board, jump ball, and tie-up goes to Indiana.
Jamal made a good play. He just got blocked from behind, and that was Cree Smith just in the ball game, who has the jump ball, and the arrow points to Indiana. So Cree gives Indiana a break right there.
Okay, we're going to see Kurt Portman now. Portman a little bit leaner than Schubring, but they sit Sims down. And so it's an even taller lineup with Portman at 6'11".
6 inches there. Portman's bigger. So they got two centers, Schubring and Portman, at the same time. They're trying to get that rebound advantage.
Edwards from outside for three.
Now that was better. Jay really swung into that shot. Had a little better rhythm. That first one he was off balance on.
It is a 2-point deficit for Indiana now. 12-10. Wisconsin with the lead. Portman across the top. He can handle the ball for a big man. Now the crowd begins to come to life, Laz. Jones outside. Need pressure on him, but that's maybe a little bit out of his range out there.
I think that's right. Let him take that one. Jamal, that's good block out because the smallest man on the floor gets the rebound.
A foul off the shoulder. That's going to go against Wisconsin's Mulaski, as Edwards really tried to pick the tempo up.
He's trying to get the ball on the move, which will be a real advantage for him. He's so difficult to guard when he's on the move like that. So it's good to see him moving. And the crowd's been a big help this early, Chuck. Teams got off to a slow start. Basket here can tie the game.
Down to the baseline. Off the hand. Smith had nowhere to go with it. Up and in by Edwards. That's another one of those where did that come from shot.
Smith was trying to pass that all the way, but he saw the baseline pass block. He just threw it outside to Edwards. Good play by Cree Smith.
And a little bump and a little hold, and that foul's going to go against Indiana's Meeks. I think the officials are going to try to keep this game well under control. Jamal's first foul, 6-foot freshman from Freeport, Illinois. And that's the second against Indiana. Wisconsin wastes no time in getting the ball in. This is Portman right back outside, partially blocked, and good recovery by Indiana's Todd Jadlow. Down to the baseline to Anderson. Looking for a cut. There's Meeks. That's no territory you want a 6-footer in. There's a partially blocked shot, and Portman, however, got a hand on it. Will be called for the foul. When you have a tall lineup like that, Les, as we sit up here, it's very obvious to see, unless there's actually a lane, Jamal Meeks has no place to go down low.
He did the right thing. He's got three Badgers there. He dribbles back out. Anderson thinks he can get the shot away, but there's the size of Portman at 6'11", but he drew the foul.
2 for Anderson. We'll remind you right now, on Thursday, May 11th at 8 o'clock in Assembly Hall, the AAU USA basketball team will play the Soviet Junior Nationals. Tickets are on sale at the Bloomington, Indiana National Bank locations. For more information, you may call area 812-333-4292. 42. I'm sorry. 333-4242. Both free throws by Eric Anderson. And he has 6. And Indiana has a 14-12 lead. Jones and Jadlow gets a wrist of Danny. Will send Danny to the line. That'll be an interesting game, lads. The juniors, 19 and under, AAU, USA, against the Soviet juniors. You can't go to the game. You can watch it over many of these same stations. It will be telecast. Danny Jones
At the line for 2, and it falls over.
You can see they're really concentrating on getting the ball to Jones. But if you try to put too many men on Jones, they'll go right back to Jackson, who can hit that outside shot.
Second one will not fall, and there's that deep rebound to Portland. They get an additional opportunity to take the lead. Jackson right down to the baseline with a real quick start. Tipped up. Look how high Meeks goes for that ball.
He took that right out of Portman's hand.
Right down the middle to Smith. And back over to Meeks. To Anderson. Smith won't fall. A great opportunity to score for Indiana there, and it slipped by.
They took it up strong. It just a little bit too strong.
Meeks making good adjustment on Molaski. Schubring over to Portman. He's an outside shooter, but a step or two off his range out there. Molaski, that's in the range of Danny Jones, and he hits it. 15-14 Wisconsin. And we are rapidly approaching the 11-minute mark. Joe Hillman back into the next dead ball opportunity for Indiana. Edwards. 2-3 zone by Wisconsin.
First time we've seen it. Indiana trying to adjust right here.
Knocked away. It's good feed and will not go. Takes a deep rebound. Molaski clears it off for Wisconsin. Edwards with plenty of time to get set on that assist from Meeks. Just couldn't get it to fall. Portland to the right side. Molaski out in three-point range. Good three-point shooter. Trent Jackson won't fall. Rebound as Jadlow makes a good assist off the baseline. Up it comes to Smith. Smith had Anderson for a moment, but then the opportunity closed down very quickly. Underneath Anderson for 2. Give the assist to Edwards. The basket to Anderson. He has 8. Indiana leads again.
Hey, Jay's double threat because you get so worried about that shot that you keep an eye on him. He can also pass it well. Anderson got that one.
Jackson doubled down. They really fear Jackson any place on the court. He is that good. And here is a shot up and off. No good. Rebound Jadlow. Jadlow with good block out on Jones.
Much better job on the block out now by Indiana.
Anderson.
Still that zone 2-3.
Jadlow gets it right back, knocked out of his hands, put it down. Watch Meeks. Yeah, and he gets the basket. That was good protection on the ball by Wisconsin's Molaski as he guarded the ball off his hip, drew the foul for Meeks, and then put it through on the move.
Stim's back in, Locum is in, and for Indiana, Joe Hillman comes back in for Smith. Jadlow tries to drive the middle. There's the steal. Look how quickly, though, Jamal can catch up. But here's the foul right there, and Molaski makes a good shot on that layup.
17-16 Wisconsin. We expected this kind of a game, very close, but Indiana is really not playing in a good rhythm right now. Molaski with his 5th point, and we have a timeout. You're watching Indiana basketball from Assembly Hall in Bloomington, where the Hoosiers trail 18-16.
Business people know what they want.
And that's what we design at Indiana Bell. Communication systems that are smart and that solve problems.
Without creating new ones.
Systems that harness the power of the Indiana Bell network for information management every business day.
For the service, the systems, and the solutions that work. Call Indiana Bell first.
Your local Chevy dealer asks, when it's Chevy Cavalier versus Toyota Corolla, who wins? Recently, in an independent survey, Chevy Cavalier sold for $3,400 less than a comparably equipped Toyota Corolla. $3,400 less for Cavalier, with a longer wheelbase and fuel injection versus their carburetor. The facts are in. When it's Chevy Cavalier versus Toyota Corolla, Chevy wins, with more car for a lot less money at your local Chevy dealer. That's why in Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
That's the score on the time remaining in the first half, 18-16. Wisconsin has never been away more than 3 points. And the shooting percentages almost confirm that. 8-16, they're 50%. Indiana's still struggling at just 6 of 14. But still hanging tough in the ball game, just 2 down. And time is back in. Indiana brings it up, trailing by 2 as we tick down to the 9-minute mark. It hasn't really been one of those kind of games where Indiana's been able to put a pace together. Jadlow sets a pick. Jamal looks inside to Hillman. Hillman had Anderson cutting over, but couldn't see. Over it goes to Anderson, up, and gets it. Makes a good play there. He had weak side help that he had to get around and ties the score again. Molaski to Portman. Locum in at that last timeout. Tim Locum, a great three-point shooter. Steal by Indiana. Here comes Hillman on the drive, and a blocking foul against Wisconsin. That is the 16th foul against the Badgers. They say Joe's in the act of shooting, so he'll go to the line.
The personal foul, Wisconsin, number 44, Tim Locum. His first personal, 6.
Ball gets loose, and Hillman's coming up with it. Here's a chance for a fast break. Jamal fills the lane. Joe takes it all the way in, gets fouled. Foul was on Locum, his first. He got the spin of the ball on that one, lad. He got it early, came out of the game early. He's back in now. You see, leads the team in assists. And Joe wants to have a good game here, his last one in Assembly Hall. 2018 Hoosiers. Sims. Locum looking to Molaski. They work it well. Danny Jones, boy, he is powerful. That is really a well-built young man. 6'6", good and solid. Good save, good heads-up play by Todd Jadlow. Great job. As he saw him, he was running out of room and just threw that ball right back at the Badger out of bounds to Indiana. Smart play, good defense as he fronted that pass, knocked it away. Now Indiana with a chance to extend its 2-point lead. To Hillman. They're back in the man. Anderson. Hillman from 3 range, no good, over the shoulder, foul. And a little temper display there by Willie Sims for his 3rd foul, and that means that Steve Yoder is going to have to look at his bench. Jay's working hard without the ball. You can see the rewards. He'll have a 1-on-1 now. Watch him flash. And then he holds his position, and right there's the foul. Look at Sims jumping up and down. He comes out of the ball game. Jackson is back in for Wisconsin. Sims to the bench. A costly foul for Willie. He averages only 5.8 points per game, but he's used extensively in the motion flow of Wisconsin's game. And with him out, it can be some trouble for the Badgers. He's been long today on the shots he's missed. Usually we see he comes up short, but today he's long. Portman. Oh, look at Anderson right up in his face. Portman takes it inside. Hard off the glass. And out to Edwards. Up to Meeks. On the cut for 2. Meeks read Hillman's move perfectly. Well, that's Jamal's quickness, bringing the ball up. He beat Wisconsin down the floor. It's just a really nice pass. We have a timeout. You're watching the Indiana University Basketball Network. The Hoosiers 22, the Badgers 18.
If you're looking for a rotor or a windshield wiper motor, yeah, you'll find it at CarQuest.
Stop by for hard-working Wix filters. Whether you drive a domestic or a foreign car, Wix filters remove dirt and contaminants from your engine to keep it running cleaner and longer. For performance and protection, look to Wicks.
Take it from Roy Clark and the repairmen. If it's a really tough part, then don't lose heart. Yeah, you'll find it at CarQuest.
The Corlick sisters on Denny's specials.
Tonight we're having the steak and shrimp and shrimp and shrimp and shrimp and shrimp and shrimp special.
You said shrimp 6 times.
I'm getting 6 big shrimp.
You don't have to ask for each one separately.
I asked for the steak separately.
You only get 1 steak.
Well, how many steaks do you want for such a low price?
1 steak and 6 shrimp.
Then get the steak and shrimp special. It's a great deal at Lenny's.
Denny's.
Denny's.
Try our delicious steak and shrimp special for just $6.99, only at Denny's.
We've got a lot of loyal IU fans, and I think there's one about 10, 15 years from now. It's really going to be a good one. Watch this.
Jamal quickly down the floor. He sees Hillman right there between the 2 defenders. Ends up in a layup.
Jeff Edwards, the older brother of Jay Edwards, had some shoulder surgery this last week. Normally, we tried to avoid get wells, but I think Jay and his mother Rosemary would like to send to Jeff, who sees all the home games, really get well wishes. Jeff, we want to see you back here very, very soon. And the basket, let's check to see whether it's going to count. Danny Jones, yeah, the basket counts, and Bob Knight is up right away protesting the call.
Let's see if there might have been goaltending. I think that's what they're...
Well, they take a look at it. Bob Knight is really over there.
Now, when the whistle blows, the referees still have to watch that ball, because if it's offensive goaltending, of course, it wouldn't count.
The personal foul is number 11,
They're going to count the basket. Take a look.
All right, here's the shot.
correction on the foul.
No, it looked like he didn't touch it.
That was a good call.
From this angle, we saw it from behind. It looked like he might have touched it, but no, the ball went in by itself.
Tim Bain is over, and Knight still hasn't given up on Bain. Still trying to make his point. It's been a tough week on Bob. The loss Sunday, the three-point loss 70-67, was a game that really got away from Indiana defensively. They just didn't block out very well, and it's been a tough practice week. The free throw by Jones is good. He has 10, and the Badgers are back to within 1. 22-21 with 6:55 left to play in the first half. Indiana still trying to get a lead going here. Ball away by Anderson is good. He's got a range tonight.
Yep, a little off balance on that one, but he's made 2 earlier, and got his confidence up, and he compensated for falling away.
Lasky. Slocum knocked away over the arm. That's going to be on Todd Jadlow, his first. And that is the 4th 6th team foul against Indiana. The second, pardon me, let's correct that. The second against Jadlow.
He's got a tough job with Jones, but he's got to stay in there. I saw Jones pretty well.
Trent Jackson almost turned it over. There's a shot that's short. Off the rim, takes a deep bound, and Eric Anderson, with good hands, pulls it away. Indiana with the 3-point lead. To Edwards, he will go to the line. The foul is on Danny Jones. First on Jones. Wisconsin is over the limit. Steve Yoder has just done a marvelous job with his team. 17-9, 8-8 in conference play, but they've won some games that many didn't give them too much hope to win. And a good non-conference season has given them that potential NCAA opportunity.
Looks like he's back on track now. Good form on that one. Just at the back of the rim. You can see yesterday he was named the Big Ten Player of the Year.
Second is good. So Edwards has picked up 9. Indiana with a 5-point lead at the 6:13 mark. Lasky right in front of the Indiana bench. Portman, and boy, there's some body contact underneath. That goes on Jones. as Jones and Brian Sloan. And you can imagine that if there's anyone that's going to make contact with Danny Jones, it's going to be Brian Sloan.
Right, Sloan came in to give Jadlow a rest, and he's holding his mouth. He might have caught an elbow from Jones. Look at the shoulders there on Jones, though, as he goes down to the free throw line. So Brian will have a 1-and-1 now. And Steve Yoder up off the bench talking to Jim Bain.
Lyndon Jones is back in for Indiana. You know, Laz, I think this young man, Danny Jones, is one of these kind of athletes, much like George McGinnis, who could play both football and basketball at the collegiate level. He is really solid, really big. And that's not going to fall. A whistle, and what are we going to have? We have a lane violation, and they call that on Jones. Jones talking to Jim Bain. Schubring back in for the Badgers. He replaces Portman now.
That's an interesting call because it looked like Hillman's the one that lost his balance, and Jones got called for the infraction.
Well, the break, and what a break it was, gives new life to Brian Sloan.
See his little red right there on his chin. He caught an elbow right there below the lip.
I understand his dad is supposed to be here tonight. And it doesn't fall. Schubring pulls it down. One player not on Indiana's bench. That's Jeff Oliphant. Oliphant slipped on the ice last Monday and turned his knee. He is going to be watched for a while, and hopefully if Indiana can advance in the NC2A, there's a foul on Edwards. If Indiana can advance, he should be ready, but it'll be about 10 days minimum.
Let's watch Edwards. He comes down to help on Jones and comes back out to get to his man. And right there's the contact.
27-21, Locum at the line. A 74% shooter from the charity stripe as Jay Edwards picks up his first foul. And if anyone brings out the concentration at the line for opposing teams, it's Indiana. Well, it seems like Indiana runs against good free throw shooting teams.
Wisconsin's got a lot at stake. I mean, if they can beat Indiana, that gives them a good chance to go to the tournament, and that's something they haven't done in a long time.
4-point lead for Indiana. Under to Anderson. He's pushed. It won't go. And a very, very quick foul called on Danny Jones, and that is his third. And that's trouble for Wisconsin, because if Danny gets in trouble, the Wisconsin inside game suffers.
Well, that's his strength now. He's going to have to come out. Portman checks back in. Quickly down the floor. Right there's a shove. Anderson really moving well, Chuck. He's really done a nice job today moving without the ball.
Now, Laz, let me ask you something. Now with Jones out of there, does Indiana continue to attack inside against Portman and Schubring?
I think they will, although Portman and Schubring are taller. Indiana's got to use that shot fake, and then take that drive and try to get around him.
Eric Anderson, what a blessing freshman he is. He is just a young man who has shown great maturity and a lot of patience in learning from this game. And has picked the Indiana system up quite well. Portman looks back out to Schubring. Oh, and a great, great step in by Jay Edwards to pick up the loose ball. Well, Edwards wants to take it on in, but thinks better of it. Hillman down to the baseline, reverse layup. It will fall. Sloan tried to follow, but did deflect it enough so that Hillman could get a hand on the ball.
Indiana only 2 turnovers early in the game. There's extra possession here, though.
I don't think Brian expected that ball, but he did manage to chase it down.
And now a third possession as that shot gets reset again. New 45.
Anderson into the paint. Back out to Sloan. Jones wants the shot, and it won't fall. Portman clears it. And Wisconsin will walk it up, trailing by 6 at the 4.5-minute mark. Oh, Jackson just wheels right around Lyndon Jones. I think Indiana got a break there. Jones, baseline, back out to Hillman. He steps up. No. And out of bounds to Wisconsin. And Bain making a good call there. We see our first substitution in the final 4 minutes. Billy Douglas, number 10, 6'5", a sophomore
from Lake Forest. He replaces Lotham. Well, Indiana just having a struggle now. They're 6 points up, but had 2 opportunities there to get that 8-point lead, and neither one cashed in. Molaski. See how far off Edwards is playing on him that far back. Jackson back to Molaski. Now he stepped into a better 3-point range. He is a good 3-point shooter. Into the paint. Back out Douglas. Portman from outside. And a push off. And that's going to go against Indiana. Call that on Lyndon Jones. Lyndon was trying to get the block out position because Jackson has a little size on him, but picked up that second foul. Steve Anderson comes out, and Cree Smith, the senior, playing his final game here at Assembly Hall, is back in. So Indiana with a small lineup now compared to the two 6'11" players for Wisconsin. Grant Jackson averaging 19.6 points per game. That's his third. And fourth. And we have an official's timeout at the 3:36 mark. You're watching Indiana basketball from Assembly Hall in Bloomington, where the Hoosiers own a 29-25 lead.
It's a gamble. Each spring they wonder what the weather and what the price of things will bring. But it's the only work most farmers know, and there isn't anything else they'd rather do. There have been better times than now. A few have been worse. But self-reliance makes you a survivor. The next time you sit down to a meal, remember the hard-working folks that put food on our tables. Your local Chevy dealers salute farmers.
To the heartbeat of America.
Let's talk math anxiety. I mean, if you freak out trying to figure the best deal on a bottle of ketchup, how are you ever going to know if you're getting the best deal at your bank? Here's how. Blue Max from Bank One. It's all their best deals in one super service. You get free checking, a credit card with no annual fee, bargains on loans and CDs, travel rebates. That's not so tough a decision. I think it helps to have 18,000 bankers doing all the numbers, doesn't it?
Blue Max, new from Bank One.
Now, ketchup, bank can't help you.
We are looking at a 4-point game right now. 29-25, 3:36 remaining. Statistically, however, you couldn't ask for anything closer than what we have here. It is an identical shooting percentage game. And not very good, 9-21, 43%. Lyndon Jones handling the ball, and right through the hands of Joe Hillman. And Brian Sloan playing his final game at Assembly Hall as well. Here's Smith, another senior. Edwards. Under to Smith. Makes the ball fake, puts it up, tips it, gets control again. And the foul is going to send Cree Smith to the line. Good hustle. Well, that's where the height hurt Indiana. Smith looked like he had a layup chance, but he used the reverse layup to try to get away from one big guy. There you see he does, but then there's another big one right there. Portman 6'11", and Cree misses that shot. Able to get the rebound and get some free throw chances now. Cree from Tipton, Indiana. This second one won't fall, so the Hoosiers still showing this inconsistency at the line. As Smith hits 1 for 2. 3 minutes remaining. Indiana by 5, 30-25. Bob Knight's up looking down his bench again. Eric Anderson will be coming back in. Molaski. Portman. Jackson, then back to Molaski. The Badgers now showing some patience. A little period in there when they got out of tempo. Jackson, it's going to fall. Boy, I'll tell you, he's got a touch. You can't really shut him out for the entire game. He's going to get open and get the ball. That's right on the line. Only 2, says Phil Bova. But it's 11 for Edwards and maintains that 5-point lead. They play Portman out on top as a release. Now Douglas comes back out on top.
Wisconsin looking to break something open underneath, preferably Jackson.
And they're taking their time. They set up the offense again. They're a patient team. That's why it'll be a low-scoring game today.
Douglas fires. Douglas connects.
Only 2. He was close to that line. Steve Yoder wanted 3. 3-point lead for Indiana now.
Tillman under to Edwards, up to the glass. Jay has an asset in being able to use all of the backboard.
He seems to be able to get away from those 7-footers, and when guys are guarding him, he's able to get that shot around them somehow, and he did it right there.
You know, most of the time on underneath shots, baseline shots around the glass, they say put it in the square, meaning that white square that surrounds the basket. But Jay knows all his angles under there and used that board wisely. Lasky with a little spin move down to the baseline, back out to Douglas. Smith will have a little more respect for him out there.
Pretty good half-court defense right here. They're forcing Wisconsin to use some time. 5 seconds on the clock.
Lasky fires 3 and scores. Oh boy, that's a backbreaker. Yep. I told you he was a good shooter from out there.
Just coming in under the wire. He is about 3 steps outside the line, but he had to shoot it. Indiana needed a little more pressure than that. And now Indiana will wait for 1 shot.
33 seconds, no shot clock. Indiana looking for an opportunity now to set something up. They're staring right at a 2-3 zone. And it appears to be more like a box and 1 because Jay Edwards is all alone over there on the side.
Now they've gone man-to-man.
And okay, they're in man-to-man now. Down to the baseline with a good drive right through the paint by Lyndon Jones. 4 seconds. 3. Jackson, high arching shot, no good. Travel at the 2-second mark. Lyndon Jones with the big basket, breaking the plane of the free throw line for his first basket. Indiana now with possession of the ball in the final 2 seconds. Up it comes to Smith. He tried to pass. I think he saw Anderson all alone underneath and figured he could get the pass off rather than the shot. There just wasn't enough time. So that's the end of the first half. The score, Indiana 36, Wisconsin 32. This is the Indiana University Basketball Network.
Ralph Thompson has an extra $5 in his pocket today. Stella Snyder will save $16 on Thursday. There's a reason so many people are smiling this week. Their Hooks pharmacist in green will fill their prescription with a top-quality generic drug. Generic drugs can reduce prescription costs by up to 60%. Ask Hooks about money-saving generics for your next prescription. Because we like to see you smile.
After all those meetings in Minneapolis and conventions in Kansas City, we think you could use a little change of pace. And after 40,000 miles in TWA's frequent flyer program, that's just what you get. Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are. Even before you get on the plane, our in-flight service manager is working to make you comfortable.
There will be a child traveling alone in row 18, and we'll need a vegetarian meal in row 10. And Tony, make sure we have enough...
Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are.
At Taco Bell, spare change can turn nachos into our new Nacho Supreme. Because for just a little more than our regular nachos, you get beef, beans, tomatoes, and all the flavor you could ask for. So chip in and try the new Nacho Supreme today. At just 99 cents, it won't be around for long. Taco Bell has a road to make a run for the border.
And don't forget the original Taco Bell taco for just 59 cents.
Your local Chevy dealer asks, when it's Chevy Corsica versus Toyota Camry, who wins? Recently, in an independent survey, Chevy Corsica sold for $2,600 less than a comparably equipped Toyota Camry. $2,600 less for Corsica with a longer wheelbase, more overall room, and a better warranty. The facts are in. When it's Chevy Corsica versus Toyota Camry, Chevy wins with more car for a lot less money at your local Chevy dealer. That's why in Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
After the sale is done, South RV service is number 1.
36-32. The halftime score is Indiana has hung on to a 4-point advantage. It's been a very hard-fought game, not a very well-shot game, but there's a lot of activity and a lot of physical contact to that game, and a couple of Badgers in foul trouble.
Indiana has just not played that well today, Chuck. They've only allowed 32 points, but they've given some open shots. They've given up too many offensive rebounds, and really Wisconsin shouldn't even have that 32. For the offense, it's not moving well. Jay finally started to move a little without the ball, but just scoring 36 points and a half. This late in the season, the team should be scoring more, and it's just execution. They need better execution, really on both sides of the floor, and I'm sure Coach is going over that with them now.
All right, we have an interesting halftime for you after we remind you that tonight's game between Indiana and the Badgers is being played at Assembly Hall in Bloomington. The score at halftime, the Hoosiers 36, Wisconsin 32.
When I kick a football, I kick it with my left foot. A lot of times I would present a problem to the guy that's trying to catch it. 2 years ago in the Pro Bowl, it was a real close game, and I can remember kicking a high ball, and it came down, and right before it got to him, it turned, bounced off his shoulder pads, bounced behind him. Our guys are right there. We jumped on it, and 2 plays later, we scored a touchdown and went ahead.
Ron Stark is unique, and so is Indianapolis. Over the last 5 years, 60% of all new homes and apartments built in Indianapolis feature electric heating and cooling systems.
It's true.
The Clydesdales, the symbol of Budweiser quality, of Beechwood aging, the choicest natural ingredients, and a genuine commitment to freshness and taste. One beer lives up to all this. Budweiser.
At the St. Petersburg Times, press operators had to wait while pages were sent by hand from an office miles away. But then, with the help of GTE, they came up with a way to send those pages over fiber optic phone lines, saving precious time and money. You see, at GTE, it's not just communications we offer, it's solutions. Call us. We deliver.
The door to your future is right in your neighborhood. College credit from Bank One gets you where you want to go. Choose from a variety of student loans that can open doors for you. If you've got what it takes, go for it. Go for college credit at your neighborhood Bank One. It's the loan to learn.
IU is one university located on 8 campuses throughout the state. In addition to its teaching and research missions, IU contributes to the economic development of its campus communities and the state as a whole. At the top of Indiana is the university's South Bend campus. Professor John Peck, director of the Office of Business and Economic Research, works to match the expertise of faculty members with the needs of the Michiana business community.
We have a lot of talent on the faculty. We have a lot of resources in our campus that should be available. These are public resources, faculty that are paid through the state of Indiana, and we have an obligation, a mission, to serve the needs of the community in a whole variety of different ways.
IUSB plays a very important role in the business community. We rely on it a great deal. There's advantage and disadvantage. It has worked so efficiently and so wonderfully well and has been such an important part of our community that I think that we take it for granted, and which we should not do as much as we do, perhaps.
The attraction of new jobs and new businesses is tremendously aided by IU, its flexible programs, and its reasonable cost. And as they are involved in their business of Bureau of Business and Economic Research and different programs, they're intimately tied in with our growth and generate more enrollment and more growth for themselves.
At the other end of the state, the Ohio River marks Indiana's southernmost border. Julia Lindsay is an occupational therapist whose company provides assistance to physically and mentally handicapped youngsters in the Jeffersonville area. When she wanted to expand her business, she sought help from experts on IU's New Albany campus. The IU Southeast campus has established a regional economic development resource center. It's known as Red Rock.
IU helped me write the grant, and they showed me the guidelines on how to write the grant, gave me some positive and, critiqued my proposal so that I could make a better proposal so that it could get accepted.
Well, of course, the buzzword today is economic growth, and a lot of what this particular center is doing is promoting economic growth in the state. So when an individual is helped, it does promote economic growth, but it also helps the individual in that they can expand their own particular services within the regional area.
I feel like they're providing a valuable service to the business community by getting the business people in touch with funding sources and help on getting their business started or expanding. And I've referred lots of people to Red Rock.
We are basically the window through which people in the area can access the resources of the entire university system, not really just this campus, the entire system.
Indiana University, providing education and an improved economic climate all across Indiana.
Let's pause now to hear from our local stations. This is the Indiana University Basketball Network.
Dave Lennox. Since 1895, new ideas in heating and cooling.
And now get a $100 rebate with the purchase of the high-efficient Lennox Pulse Gas Furnace.
Call your independent Lennox dealer.
Meet Jim Godby of Godby Brothers. For almost 20 years, Jim and his staff of quality experts have provided Indianapolis with the best in home comfort. Godby Brothers' reputation for quality service and installation is your family's guarantee of comfort.
Give the quality Godby team a call today.
Attaboy, Dave.
At Taco Bell, spare change can turn nachos into our new Nacho Supreme. Because for just a little more than our regular nachos, you get beef, beans, tomatoes, and all the flavor you could ask for. So chip in and try the new Nacho Supreme today. At just 99 cents, it won't be around for long. Taco Bell has the road to make a run for the border.
And don't forget the original Taco Bell taco for just 59 cents.
This year, you'll find something new on the Chevy Cavalier. A 3-year, 50,000-mile warranty that protects it from bumper to bumper. It's the best way we've found to cover a car that looks this good.
When you think of all the fun it gives you, the new Chevy Cavalier just could be one of the best bargains you've ever driven.
Ooh, the heartbeat of America.
That's today's Chevrolet.
Once again at the half, Indiana leading 36-32. A doubleheader for you tonight with Purdue and Ohio State from Mackey. Now, following that contest, stay tuned to Channel 4 to join us for the senior farewell highlights. Don't want to miss any of that from Assembly Hall. And then coming up on Saturday at 12:30, the final conference game for Indiana and Iowa from the Carver Hawkeye Center in Iowa City. 12:30 pregame with yours truly and Ted Kitchell. Right now, let's go back to Assembly Hall with Chuck and John.
36-32 is the score. They're honoring right now the senior pom-pom girls and the cheerleaders, boys and girls, on this year's Indiana 1989 squad. But before I pay tribute to some of them by name, let's look at some of the highlights of the first half. I think one of the keys in this first half has been the third foul that was picked up by Danny Jones last.
Well, here's a pass to Edwards outside from Hillman. He's got his man beat. Takes that quick spin to the left. Jones has to come to help, and right there he gets caught for his third foul. So depending on how fast he picks up that fourth one in the second half could have a big effect on how the outcome of the game.
All right, now another asset for Indiana on the plus side has been the great first half play of Eric Anderson. He rested a little bit right there at the last, but Eric has come up unofficially with 14 points. And it's been largely due to him moving for good position, but also at the same time, Laz, good recognition from those out on top, and specifically a play that we'll show you here in just a moment with Jay Edwards. Edwards takes a good look. Watch this.
Yep, he's going to dribble to his left. This is why he's dangerous, because he knows how to pass. Jones comes to help out, and he sees Anderson open inside, fires the pass into him for a layup. That's the kind of offense Indiana needs more of. If they're going to double team on Edwards, the other players have to be open, especially near the basket.
Now stay tuned for second half action. We'll be ready in just a minute.
And it seems that I can see the gleaming candlelight still shining bright through the sycamores for me. The new moon hastens all its fragrance from the fields I used to roam. When I dream about the moonlight on the Wabash, then I long for my Indiana home.
At Hardee's, we don't use just any old fish for our fish sandwich. No, 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 no. To win you over, we go to the icy depths of the North Atlantic for whole fillets of moist, flaky fish on a multi-grain bun. All because we never forget you can always go someplace else. Next time you're in the neighborhood, why not drop in? Now get a fisherman's fillet sandwich and large fries for only $1.99 at Hardee's.
The Ameritech Pages Plus Yellow Pages Institute.
Improvement is our watchword. So we added maps, zip codes, stadium guides, etc. to make the book a more valuable information tool.
I see. And what's this, Kurt?
The auto book return will keep all that information at your fingertips.
Yes, they never stop trying to improve the original Indiana Bell Yellow Pages, Ameritech Pages Plus.
Get daily or extended wear soft contact lenses for $39.98, or 2 pairs of soft contacts in 2 different colors for $99.98 at Dr. Tavel's Premium Optical.
The halftime score, 4-point lead for Indiana. But, boy, I'll tell you something, Laz. These statistics are pretty even at the end of 20 minutes of play.
Well, let's look. Shooting exactly 1 shot off. Indiana's taking 1 less. 48%, not bad. They need to take more shots. 11 of 15, pretty good from the free throw line. 73%. They got a 4 advantage there. They're losing on the rebounds, 18. Look at the turnovers, 9 for Wisconsin and only 2 for Indiana. A great stat for Indiana at the half.
The individuals, Jones with 10, and the balance so-so there. Jackson with 6, and then 2 each by 4 others.
Jackson's really been limited, so they're doing a good job on him. For Indiana, Anderson with 14, Edwards with 13, so only 9 points for the rest of the team.
Now, we were saying earlier that there were some senior pom-pom girls and cheerleaders. Let's pay our thanks to the efforts they have given us over the last 4 years. And the pom-pom girls, Lucy Pickle of Huntingburg and Captain Darla Wells of Indianapolis. The cheerleaders, Chris Johnson of Louisville, Harvey Phillips of Bloomington, Don Golicto of Bunker Hill, Donna Golicto, Denny Kress of Wolcottville, Cherry Jackson of Bloomfield, and the quarterback, or the captain for this crew, Julie Horeen of Noblesville. All right, thanks to all you young ladies and gentlemen who have provided so much for us. And I'll tell you something, Laz, these cheerleaders really don't get the credit they deserve. Back when you were playing, a lot of the inciting of the feeling of the house depends on them.
That's right. There you see the fouls. Jones has 3 and Sims has 3.
Wisconsin with the ball to start the second half of play. They trail by 4.
Sims and Jones both in the lineup right now for Wisconsin.
And each playing with 3 fouls. Jeff Yoder's brother, or Steve Yoder's brother, is here tonight. So maybe get a chance a little bit later on to get a shot of him. Edwards, after the feed off the rebound. Here's Anderson, 14 points, first half. Jones makes a good drive. Jadlow goes hard for the ball. Oh, that's one of the strongest plays that Todd Jadlow has made in quite some time.
Well, it looked like they spread the floor a little better that time, which didn't allow for any help. Jones made the drive, and that's just great individual effort by Jadlow, and gets Indiana up 6 points.
Lasky back to Sims. Drives on Hillman, blocking foul on Joe. His first foul and the first against Indiana. Second half. Look at the 5-year senior from Glendale, California. Paid his own way on campus first year. He wanted to come to Indiana. And that wasn't because Indiana didn't want to give him a scholarship. It's because there weren't any.
There weren't any, and so he stayed and got a scholarship the rest of the way. Stayed 5 years. Has really become a leader of this team.
And he'll take a championship ring back with him. Who knows, maybe even more. From the corner, no good. Rebound to Indiana as Jackson's shot went hard off the rim. Underneath, Anderson. And he'll just work it back out, bring it across the top for two.
Well, it didn't look very pretty because he was going against a guy bigger than him. But he had some hang time there and a lot better execution, and now the crowd getting in the game.
Hoosiers' biggest lead, 8 points, 40-32. And we're still in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Sims, and boy, I'll tell you, he traveled. He's just sitting there jockeying his feet forward. Inside to Jones, pushed it off, no good. Second effort is good by Trent Jackson.
The rebound just went off Edwards' hands, and Jackson had it wide open.
Jones to the right side. Let's see what Indiana tries to set up. Knocked away, out of bounds to Indiana. Ron Felling is up now. He keeps his eye on those guards. Each coach really has a job during the game, does he not?
Joby likes to work with the guys inside. And the Felling just to Coach Knight's left today, so he's probably done the scouting on Wisconsin.
Oh, Joe Hillman with a great cut. Just went right over the top of Danny Jones and left him in his tracks.
See a lot better offensive execution here early in the half. Good spacing, good sharp cuts, and you can see the result, easy shots.
Lasky over to Jones. And Jackson works it back out. Boy, I'll tell you, the inside was jammed up. He had no room to move. Down to the baseline. Good adjustment, but a good pass. And Jones gets the two on a strong drive.
Just a good pass that time. They shut the baseline off, but a long pass got to their good scorer, Jones.
Edwards stepped up in the three-point range, but Lasky made a quick adjustment. Cut. Jadlow up to the glass, no good. Draws the foul. And a great move right back into Danny Jones.
Steve Yoder won an offensive call. As I mentioned, that's 4 fouls now. There's 16:53 left, so just over 3 minutes into the second half, Jones now has 4 fouls. And I don't think Yoder can stay with him, and yep, he's going to substitute. Watch a good cut here by Jadlow. He just goes quickly up with the ball. That's a foul. Jones had his hand there, and Jones comes out. Portman's in for him. And a big blow to the Wisconsin team right here.
Well, the blow is not only in addition to his expertise on the court, but his shooting ability as well, as Jadlow rolls that one across. Jones out there is a 15-point differential between the two, between Portman and Danny Jones. Not a scoring punch that's lost with Jones on the bench. Let's see what Indiana can do. 44-36. Hoosiers by 8. Sims playing with 3 personal fouls. Makes a cut. Jackson does across the top. Schubring setting the outside pick.
Better defense by Indiana. Better foot movement, better guarding of the lanes, the passing lanes. And Wisconsin's having a tough time getting a good shot. Down to 12 seconds now.
Well, his contact as Jadlow went down. Jackson. And that was over the outstretched arm of Jay Edwards. A rebound to Indiana's best rebounder, and that would be Eric Anderson. Inside, back out to Hillman. Edwards into the hands. No, they're going to call it travel. No, they call a foul. I thought Jadlow might have moved that pivot foot, but what good hands he had glue on that time last.
If they're moving the ball well, almost too quickly. Watch this pass by Edwards, very sharp, but Jadlow hangs on to it. Right there's the foul on the pass, so that goes out of bounds back to Indiana.
That's the second on Kurt Portman. Now Hillman looks inside. Oh, he had Jadlow. Jadlow was off Portland's shoulder. 3 on the way. That's not going to go. Jadlow tries to fight for the rebound, but out it comes. This is Mulaski on a lead up court to Sims for 2. (44-38), Indiana by half dozen. The Hoosiers lost the conversion advantage there. They have to score here to make up their 8-point margin. They had a chance to move up within or by 10 that last time down. Over the shoulder. That's on Mulaski, his 3rd. And I have that the 3rd team foul against Wisconsin second half.
A much better offense. We're going to have our first timeout here in the second half.
15:25 remaining to be played. You're watching Indiana basketball from Assembly Hall in Bloomington. The Hoosiers have the lead, 44-38.
For the pride, for the dream, for the love, and for the team, for the sweat and for the drive, for the reason you strive.
For all you do, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood aged Budweiser.
It's a hurry-up-and-wait world, and we hate to wait. Yet the latest trend in restaurants seems to be the line.
Oh, I'm gonna take it.
There are so many things that mess up the day. It seems like more restaurants would remember the rest part.
Yes, I'm gonna take it.
If you're fed up with long lines at the fast fooders or wary of bumper tag at the food bars or just won't stand for steak anymore,
Take it sitting down at Waffle House.
But you mentioned, Laz, that the improvement in Indiana's game has been better motion, better execution, and you said just before the end of halftime, before the teams went all the way into the dressing room, that was what was going to be needed.
And that's exactly what they've come out to do. They've got the 6-point lead, but they've got Jones out of the ball game, which is a big plus. Indiana with the ball out of bounds.
And the Hoosiers bring it in. Lyndon Jones for Indiana drops it off, offensive foul, and that might not have been called. Good position by Schubring, but Jones turned his back on it.
Indiana's a lot more aggressive on offense. That's good to see. They haven't hurried it, except on that drive, so 3 fouls on Lindy. He's got to be careful now.
Well, there's the field goal. Indiana much better shooting here in the second half. Sims over Hillman, not going to fall. And the foul called against Indiana's Jay Edwards. Crashing hard was Jackson, and Edwards pushed him out of the way for his second foul.
6'1", so Edwards has about 4 inches on him. But Jackson had the position. Watch now to the left of your screen. Sims is going to miss, and here comes Jackson Edwards. Right there's the bump.
That's the 13th foul against Indiana. Portman works it out of the corner. Sims. Mulaski. Back over to Jackson. Boy, he's doubled the minute he turns back to the basket. Sims back to Mulaski. They cleared out the right side. Mulaski, however, didn't have room to move because Anderson was there to help.
Defense much better. Look how difficult it is for Wisconsin to get the shot they want.
Mulaski puts it off the glass, no good, and pulled out by Hillman. Up it comes to Jadlow. Jadlow drops it back to Edwards and back to Jadlow. Oh, a good give and go and a foul, and that goes on Schubring.
That's a great play for Indiana. Jadlow's slipped on a knee, it looks like. But give Joe Hillman credit. He saw the 2-on-1 chance. Now watch, he gives it up quickly to Jadlow, and Jadlow gets rid of it right away. One dribble, he gets it to the guard, and right back. Great execution. There's the foul. And Todd still walking a little gingerly on that knee. You see him go down. He's at the foul line.
Well, this is his final game at Assembly Hall, and I imagine if he can do it, he'll play through that. It's good.
Let's see, he's come down still a little tender on that knee as he comes down the floor.
47-38, Indiana's largest lead. 9-point advantage. Tim Loken back in. Schubring, Jadlow, good position there. Lokem, he's a 3-point shooter, remember. Whistle. And that's going to go against Eric Anderson, his first. A hold inside is Anderson having trouble with Portman, and they catch the foul. The fourth foul against Indiana, so team fouls are even. They try to go right to the basket. Indiana's defense is pretty good there. Oh, Jackson works it out. Hold on Jadlow. As Jackson moved out off the baseline. And on Todd, that's number 3. Indiana's getting some trouble.
Yeah, third foul, 5th personal in the half, so still 2 away. But Jadlow's got his 3rd foul. Wisconsin still in there with that tall lineup. Portman and Schubring both in at the same time.
Jackson up over Hillman for 2. Trent Jackson has 10. Indiana with a 7-point lead. Kick knocked away. It's going to be saved. No. Out of bounds, Indiana.
Well, Wisconsin, a scrappy team, and they know how much this game can mean to them. And that goes out of bounds, though. Indiana still has possession.
Indiana's really having trouble grabbing the ball. I wonder whether it was, you know, the temperature change outside, a little moisture, and the ball can pick it up very easily. It's a collector. Not going to fall. And look at Jadlow. Pull it away. Double. Tries to throw it away. And does just that. Throws it away right to Wisconsin.
He lost his balance there.
Now Wisconsin trailing by 7 can trim it to 5. Maybe less. Sims. They're having trouble making that bounce pass, the entry pass into the lane. Turnaround by Locum is good.
Good pick on the baseline that time, and Wisconsin really hanging tough, Chuck. It looked like Indiana got that 9-point lead, but extended now down to 5.
Jones inside to Jadlow, puts it up. Will it count? Yeah, it counts. Good effort.
Oh, what a shot that time. He knew he was getting fouled and just threw that shot up, and it went in.
That's one of the plays of this young senior's positive side of his career. Watch this.
He gets the guys up in the air, and you can see the hand go up and throws it in. Big play for Jadlow.
Todd from Salina, Kansas. Not going to go. He has 9. Indiana has a 7-point lead, 49-42. And we have 12.5 minutes left in this game. Indiana with a win can win the Big Ten championship outright. If not, they will have to wait and see what happens at Iowa City. It's coming Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Sims over Edwards. Tipped in. Give the basket to Kurt Portman.
Came here the weak side and was up high for that rebound.
.12 minutes remaining. Inside to Jadlow.
See, that was better that time. We saw him in the last game, tried to stuff that, missed it. That time he just laid it over the rim. Good play by Todd.
In regard to that Saturday game, we have a timeout. We'll tell you more about it in just a few minutes. You have an opportunity now to pause for a moment. You're watching the Indiana University Basketball Network. The Hoosiers with the lead, 51-44.
There's something I want to say here to my cousin George. George, you know that money you inherited from Aunt Frida after the Four Cats got theirs? I know you stashed it in the guest room closet, George. If you kept it at Bank One, you'd qualify for Blue Max. Free checking, great deals on credit cards, loan discounts, travel rebates. George, Blue Max could save your bundle. Pull yourself together, will you, big fella?
Blue Max. New from the 18,000 people who care.
By the way, George, don't forget the tax refund you hid in the freezer.
The next few moments are dedicated to some great Americans. You may recognize some of them, not from the pages of a history book, but from your neighborhood and where you work and where you go. They're making something that's become a standard for the world, a living. You may not think of yourself as a hero or your honest day's work as history making, but we do. Your local Chevy dealers salute America's workers, the heartbeat of Central Indiana.
You're the heartbeat of America.
51-44. Indiana has led by as many as 9. We have 11:48 remaining to be played. Wisconsin is still using its tall lineup. Schubring, Portman, Sims, Locum. It falls off a little bit there. Trent Jackson as well. Portman with the inbound to Locum. Here are the free throws. And again, Indiana.
Field goal 6 out of 8 for Indiana. 75% here in the second half.
Portman out to the top. Again, as I said, for a 6'11 man, puts it down on the floor pretty well. Sims, and it won't fall, but they get the inside position. Knocked away and knocked all the way back out to midcourt. I think Joe Hillman was the one that did that. He said, let's get it off the board. Take our chances. Oh, good dive by Jamal Meeks, but it'll be Wisconsin ball. And Trent Jackson and Meeks collide. Both are back up. Wisconsin trailing by 7. They have the ball. But their most prolific shooter is on the bench, and that's Locum firing from three-point range. And Jadlow went down, turned his knee. That knee has really bitten him this time. And let's see if he can walk it off.
He's trying to. It looks like the same one that he twisted on that shot that he made. There's Jim Bain talking to him.
Well, I admire him. He's going to try to walk it off.
I think his foot just catches on the ground. Let's watch this. Locum's got a three-pointer here, missed it. Watch on the left now. The ball comes off. There goes Todd right there. See, before he got the rebound, he twisted that a little bit. He's staying in the game.
All right, let's just see how effective he remains. Jamal Meeks, Trent Jackson on him. Meeks tries to get it past the long arms of Jackson, deflects it out of bounds. The officials, Mike Stockner, Phil Boba, and Jim Bain, doing a pretty good job so far. It's tough to officiate in college basketball and the Big Ten level. They've drawn, not these three necessarily, but the officials have drawn a lot of criticism through the years, and I really have to applaud them. I think they work very hard to get the job done. There's a foul across the wrist. That'll go on Portman, his third, as Hillman took it to the basket.
Yeah, that's the difference in the offense here in the second half, Chuck. The team's taking a lot more time. They're spreading the offense so that you can't help that much, and when they've got the driving lane, they go for it. Hillman that time goes against a bigger player, 6'11 Portman, but is able to draw the foul because he had good position.
Joe with 2 shots. First is good. Laz, I think also a thing that all of us recognized on that move right there. If you get Wisconsin out a little bit high and you get a switch and you get the mismatch, it's a lot easier for the little man to drive on the big man.
Right, especially when he kicks the ball on the move. That's what Hillman did that time.
It's 53-44. Indiana's lead is back to 9. Locum looking inside and no one cutting into the middle. There it is. Oh, and no call. And now they call against Indiana.
Well, Jadlow was there, got knocked down, but there was no call, and that left Wisconsin with great inside position. And that foul's going to go against Hillman, I believe.
Yeah, it is. It's against Hillman, his second.
There's Steve Yoder, the Wisconsin coach. Well, he's going to send Jones back in as he is risking that 5th foul. Let's watch now. There's Jadlow going down, so that doesn't leave anybody inside for Indiana. Anderson's and Schubring are battling. Schubring missed that one, and right there, Hillman made a push from behind. Saw it with his left hand.
Schubring uses the glass.
No, that didn't look very pretty at all. But it counts.
It's like I'd shoot. Well, let's see if this comes closer.
Well, that's what he's trying to do. That's right.
Locum, as Edwards clears the board, picks up his second foul.
His second personal, 57 of this
the teams make the long walk as Wisconsin now is over the limit. Indiana with 6, so the next one by Indiana will put Wisconsin at the line in bonus.
I think he was trying to check. He's 5 for 14 for the season, 35%. He's 0 for 3 in the Big Ten, which means he's 1 out of 5 now, so he's trying to bank those shots in.
Edwards missing the first of a 1-and-1. 53-45. Let's don't let Wisconsin get back into this. Indiana with an opportunity to put him away. Good defense by Anderson. Knight wanted a 5-second call. Sims slides it down to Jones. Jones over Jadlow for 2.
And Todd got hit right in the mouth, too, as Jones turned around for that shot.
He's taking a beating last.
Yeah, it didn't take him long to get back into the offense.
On Jones, or for Jones, that's 14. He averages 20, so he's nearing his average. See what Indiana can deploy offensively. And a bump underneath by Sims on Edwards. Underneath to Anderson. His first basket since early in the first half.
Well, Hillman made a play, Chuck. He had the shot, but not enough time off the clock yet. He took one more dribble, and then he got Indiana layup. Joe Hillman with the play that time.
It's early in the second half. That's the second basket in the second half as Jones counters immediately for Wisconsin.
And that's 2 in a row for him. That's letting him get the ball with his back to the basket. That's tough to stop him once he does that.
Locum right into Jadlow. Tipped away, out of bounds. It's going to be Wisconsin ball. Molaski checks back in for the Badgers as Locum, who gave Molaski a breather, sits down. Indiana getting a little sloppy in the ball handling right now. Need to settle down. Molaski left. Saved on the sideline. Sims looking right. He's looking for either Jones or Jackson. They have them both set up down there in the stack. Here's Jackson. Back to Jones. A little bump, and they're really going to call that on. They stay here, and that's going to be called on Todd Jadlow. A block. His 4th foul.
Hey, Jones is just getting that ball and making a move real quick. And Indiana's had trouble stopping him. That's a big foul. Jadlow's got 4. 8:31 left in the game. You leave him in or take him out. 16 points for Jones.
That's right. That's the decision that Knight is trying to make right now. Jones missing the free throw on the 1-and-1. So the score remains 55-49. 6-point lead for Indiana. Jay Edwards scoreless in the second half. Anderson. I'll tell you, Wisconsin's really playing Indiana tight defensively. And that's over the shoulder. That's foul number 5 on Danny Jones.
Yep, that's cutting for the ball. Look at Jones, a smile on his face, but nothing fancy about that. Jadlow just being to the spot, wasn't going up for the shot, and that'll be it. 8 minutes exactly left, and Jones is gone.
He is a good-looking young man. He is a good-looking athlete. And you're going to hear a lot from Danny Jones, the junior, next year for Wisconsin. Kurt Portman back here.
I mentioned Edwards had 13 points in the first half, has not scored here in the second, but Jadlow had not scored in the first. He now has 11 points, so Indiana switching off their scores right there. Todd now a chance to score his 13th point. Let's watch. Todd beats him to the spot. Right there's the foul, no doubt about it. And Jones is gone. Big play for Indiana.
2 free throws for Todd Jadlow. Ups the lead to 57-49. Back to 8. So Jackson now will have his hands full trying to motivate the Badgers back into the scoring column. And good rebound by Jamal Meeks out to Hillman. Here come the Hoosiers. 7 minutes and 40 seconds away from an undisputed claim to the Big Ten championship. Blocked away. And here comes Wisconsin. Jackson backs it out.
Looks to Mulaski. Now to Portman. Start a little back cut. Sims, and he gets the bounce of the ball. Willie Sims with only his 3rd field goal.
Yeah, the game just really staying at that 6 points. It goes to 8 and right back down to 6. Wisconsin hangs tough. Indiana let the ball get in too deep that time for an easy shot.
Indiana has called for a setup, a formation that they use against this kind of offense or defense, and it's Todd Jadlow moving a pick from right, or from a post from right side to left side for an easy 2.
Just sets up on the block. They get the pass onto him, and that quick spin into the lane for the shot. Wisconsin wants timeout.
You're watching the Indiana University Basketball Network with 6:38 remaining. Indiana has the lead, 59-51.
The Egghead Discount Software Company, America's leading software seller, had a growing problem. It seems they were growing, but their communication system wasn't. So the people at GTE analyzed the problem and designed a customized system that improved efficiency, reduced network costs, and left plenty of room for growth. You see, at GTE, it's not just communications we offer, it's solutions. Call us, no matter what size you are.
When you trust your Hooks pharmacist in green to fill your prescription, you get more than just medication.
And remember, Mrs. Rogers, these may make you drowsy, so don't drive after taking them.
The professional advice of your Hooks pharmacist in green is a very important part of your prescription.
Now remember, it's important to take the antibiotics until they're all gone.
When you have a healthcare question, ask us. We're here to help. Because at Hooks, we like to see you smile.
59-51's the score. I want to remind you once again, on Thursday, the 11th of May at 8 o'clock, right here in Assembly Hall, the AAU USA basketball team will play the Soviet Junior National Team. These are 19 and under AAU USA basketball players. The tickets for that game are now on sale at the Bloomington Indiana National Bank locations. That's the Indiana National Bank locations in Bloomington only. For more information, call area 812-333-4242. Now, this game will be telecast over many of these same stations. So if you can't make it here to Assembly Hall, you might want to watch it on TV. But let's try to fill the arena. Jackson, it's not going to fall. Good block out by Indiana. Out to Jamal Meeks. And Jamal slows it up against Mulaski. Back to Hillman, guarded by Jackson. Good bump underneath. Jadlow goes down, no foul. To Anderson, and he's fouled on a little touch underneath. It's either Schubring or Portman, and they call it on Schubring.
Jadlow got knocked down as again Indiana's outsized in that 3-second lane, but then Anderson's able to get the ball before he can get rid of it. He gets fouled.
As I know this is something that is always of great concern to players. You always hear the officials say no harm, no foul. If it happens to be away, in the opinion of the official, away from the action of the game. And yet a lot of times, especially in Indiana's system game, every player performs a role.
A lot of times away from the ball is where the action is.
19 points for Anderson as the second one falls off the rim. 6 minutes remaining. Oh, look at great steal by Joe Hillman, and gets it right back from Edwards as the pressure from Wisconsin breaks down a bit. Hillman wants to go out in style. That's not going to count for anything except a lost ball. Over to Jackson, no good. And underneath, over the back is Schubring for his 4th foul.
Jay was a little rushed that time, but look at Jamal Meeks. He goes inside to get a good rebound, and that's going to go on Portman and on Schubring. 52, that's his 5th foul. Now watch here, 23. Look, he turns around, he blocks out on Schubring, gets a little help from Anderson right there, and there's the 5th foul on Schubring. So a 6'11" player for Wisconsin now gone. Locum comes in to replace him.
Now, this gives more balance and better matchup for Indiana. 5:34 remaining. Darren Schubring and Danny Jones each has fouled out. As Jamal sends the first on its way, no good. Rebound pulled away by Willie Sims. And the sophomore from Pontiac, Michigan, takes it right side on Eric Anderson. Back to Locum. So Wisconsin's going to have to get something going here. Jackson and a step in by Jamal Meeks. Shut down that drive.
Great play there as he had the switch. That's the old pick and roll play, but the guard, Jamal Meeks, that time was quick enough to get in the passing lane.
Anderson, Indiana now patient, setting its offense a little higher with the exception of Jadlow. And a foul as Hillman, cutting across the baseline, is fouled by Locum. 44 fouls 44.
Oh, we're under the 5-minute mark now, and that means Indiana can run some clock. Hillman thought he had a nice drive on the baseline, so he went ahead and took it and got fouled. But I think you'll see a little more clock run now when Indiana has possession. Get that 30, 35 seconds to go by before Indiana takes a shot.
Joe Hillman will finish his final game at Assembly Hall in double figures. That's his 10th point. Crowd really quiets down and comes to life again as he hits both ends of the 1-and-1. 4 minutes, 52 seconds remaining. Offensive foul against Willie Sims. I have him, Sims, for 4. And the foul was after the control of the ball, after the ball was passed. So Indiana goes to the line.
There it is. Watch Hillman, 44. He sees Sims coming in. He holds his ground. And right there's the foul. Indiana's biggest lead now at 11. That's 4 fouls on Sims. And there's Steve Yoder. He's got to come up with some quick points. These are the kind of games Indiana likes, where they have the lead and a good controlling offense when they do get the ball back.
Pete and Sharon Sims, Hillman rather, Joe's mom and dad watching tonight in Glendale, California. We know that you're very proud of your young man. We have a timeout. 4:45 remaining. You're watching the Indiana University Basketball Network. It's Indiana 64, Wisconsin 51.
Your neighborhood Napa Auto Parts store has more than 125,000 parts for the typical American car. Whatever that is.
You know, there are a lot of places where you can look for an auto part. But here's where you'll find it. Napa has parts for imports and other hard-to-find parts. So come to Napa first. We've got your part.
Your local Chevy dealer asks, when it's Chevy Beretta versus Toyota Celica, who wins? Recently, in an independent survey, Chevy Beretta sold for $3,800 less than a comparably equipped Toyota Celica GT. $3,800 less for Beretta, with a longer wheelbase, more overall room, and a better warranty. The facts are in. When it's Chevy Beretta versus Toyota Celica GT, Chevy wins with more car for a lot less money at your local Chevy dealer. That's why in Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
The margin begins to increase, and the time begins to work in favor of Indiana. 64-51 with 4:45 remaining. I was talking just a minute ago about Pete and Sharon Hillman and Joe. Joe, of course, after he leaves here, will go right to the baseball camp. And he'll try to get in shape through the limited days that he will have remaining from spring training. And if Indiana goes pretty far in the NC2A, he may not have many. Outside, look out. See, that can change the game very, very quickly. Trent Jackson for 3.
Wisconsin's going to go to that. Now they go to a full court press. There's a lot of things going to happen in 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
64-54, 10-point game. Meeks to Edwards. Indiana will try to play with it as much as they can to exercise the clock.
Plenty of time left, still 15 seconds. And that's what they want to do, run that clock and still get a good shot at the basket.
Well, I think you hit it there. It's run the clock, but get the good shot. There it is.
on a good pass from Jamal Meeks.
Yeah, Meeks makes that play. There wasn't much passing lane there. He found it. Jadlow with good hands. Back up to 12-point lead.
Jadlow's done a good job playing through that damaged right knee. Step in and a steal by Joe Hillman. Here comes Indiana 3-on-1 to the basket. It will not go, but the foul is against Wisconsin. Oh, that ball just rolled, hesitated, and then fell off. Locum commits the foul, his fourth. And that'll put Joe back on the line.
Sees another steal as he leads the team in steals. He's just right in the passing lane, makes that steal. A 3-on-1 fast break. They went on with it, and Joe just got fouled on the shot.
The interesting statistic that we have, let's look at the replay.
Right, here it comes. Edwards going to dish off. Locum's trying to get over. Just rolls off.
The interesting statistic, I was going to say, that we have bouncing, is that Jay Edwards still has yet to score his first point in the second half.
But Hillman and Jadlow have really come on. Joe Hillman's got 10 points in the second half.
15 total. Sims, good move. Over Anderson, no good. But look at Edwards. He goes right to the board, splits the defense, and draws the foul. That's on Sims. And I have Willie Sims for 5.
I think he knows that he comes right over to the bench. Indiana doing a lot better job on that defensive board. They're not letting the second shots that Wisconsin got in the first half. Sims fouls out, and Douglas comes back in. Let's watch it now. Big rebound. Here's a trap. Goes right below it and through it, and the foul on Sims. Shea at the line.
He has been at the line one other time in this half, missed the front end of a 1-on-1. Here's this one, and it falls.
Hey, Chuck, this is going to be quite an honor for this team. Not picked to go very far in the Big Ten title race this year. A slow start in December. They got some things back together later on in December, and then came out of the blocks in the Big Ten and 2 defeats to Illinois. And if they can capture a Big Ten championship here tonight, it's going to be quite a honor for these kids on this team. And, of course, the coaching staff to get them in a position to do that.
Indiana is 3 minutes away from celebration. Douglas. Indiana's played some pretty good defense inside. Jadlow, I think, has done a good job on the big man. Lost out of bounds. It'll be Wisconsin ball.
Much better here in the second half.
Cree Smith replaces Jay Edwards at the 2:49 mark. And Jay gets a fine hand as Smith, playing in his last game here at Assembly Hall. Portman fires, no good. Rebound, here comes Jamal, 3-on-2. Jamal drops it. And a foul block will send Jadlow to the line. A good drop pass from Jamal Meeks to Todd Jadlow, and Jadlow slow in getting up again. And he's nursing that knee.
I think he's going to come out right here, and Coach is going to try to get the seniors in. He saw him put Cree Smith in, and now Sloan is going to go in. But Jadlow's going to have to take some shots first. You can't substitute for the shooter. Watch Jamal. Locum tries to go for the charging foul, but Jamal just dribbles right by him. And then Jadlow comes in.
Todd hits the first. Good game. 18 points. Second will not go, so he's going to have to wait to come out. Indiana's had trouble in the last 4 or 5 games on capturing both ends of the free throw. Kicked, and that stops the clock, and that allows the substitution, and Jadlow will come out. Now listen to the hand he gets. Ryan Sloan for Todd Jadlow. There's the greeting. That's the greeting right there.
He got 18 points today, all in the second half. When Indiana needed him, the senior comes through.
Alasky, Locum fires 3. It's good. That is the third 3-point shot by Wisconsin. Joe Hillman at a break here will probably get some relief too once Bob Knight feels this game is out of reach. 71-57, 14-point lead now with 2 minutes remaining. Down to the baseline, no basket, but there'll be a foul on the reach in, and it's going to send Hillman back to the line. That's on Locum, and that's his 5th. So that's the 4th Badger to foul out. Magnus Pelkowski, another senior, 5-year senior, will come in replacing Eric Anderson. Anderson gets a fine hand.
That's good to see Magnus out. He got hurt about the middle of the season. And now a chance to play. Eric Anderson, a good game for Eric today. 19 points as he did the scoring in the first half. And there's a look at Magnus in the ball game.
Byron Robinson, number 20, in the Wisconsin lineup replacing Locum. As Hillman sends the first of a 1-and-1 up and through. It's an 11-point second half for Hillman, Les.
12 of 13 from the line. He spent some time up there today.
73-57. Mike Delosio, another senior, will be coming in, and I imagine he'll replace Hillman. Here's Douglas. Lasky back to Jackson for 3. It's good. Grant Jackson. Got 2 in a row.
Yeah, but it's been too late. It's a good thing he wasn't able to get that shot away in the first half.
Sloan blocked away. Stop the clock. Here's Delosio for Hillman.
And see Coach Knight greets him right there coming off the floor. Ron Felling, Hillman, a great career at Indiana, and he's going to leave with a Big Ten championship.
Delosio in the corner on the inbound. Back to Pelkowski. Delosio almost loses it. Inside to Pelkowski. Turns. Smith for 2. Ball was knocked away, so it stops the clock. 75-60. And it's nothing but 1:14 clock running remaining before the celebration starts at Assembly Hall. Indiana, with this, will own its 10th undisputed Big Ten championship, more than any other team in the Big Ten. Douglas puts it to the glass, and he's fouled. That foul will go against Pelkowski.
Robinson and Chucky White check in. Jamal comes out, and Brian Sloan comes out.
Brian Sloan leads the game with 1 point, I'm sorry, but what a great court game he plays. Called upon to do exactly what he does. Picks and screens, sets and blocks, and goes for the loose ball.
His mom and dad are both here, Chuck,
yes,
to get to see him play in his last game.
Jackson, that's an air ball. And a bump. And the foul will go against Mike Delosio. Mike is also a Californian, Hillsboro. Walked on a couple of years ago, redshirted last year. Played his first year, then redshirted last year, and was scholarship this year. Douglas with 1-and-1. 50 seconds remaining. No good. Tipped away, and no one can chase it down. Whose ball? They say Wisconsin ball. So the Badgers get additional life and an opportunity to put some more points on the board, but they trail by 15. Jackson in the middle, early side. Douglas for 2. .32 seconds. Chucky White. Bree Smith tries to get it to the glass on the reverse layup, out of bounds, and it goes. Oh, Jim Bain, I don't see the ball. The last hand I saw it resting on was a Wisconsin hand. Molaski. And that's goaltending against Magnus Pelkowski.
Indiana didn't recover quick enough, and that long pass beat the defense down the floor. Coach and Jim Bain talking about that last out-of-bounds call. Only 21 seconds left.
It comes up to Chucky White. Chucky just holds it. Nobody picks him up. They're just laying off of him. Indiana's going to run the clock out.
And that's going to be it. 1989 Big Ten champions, Indiana.
Chucky White.
Pelkowski goes for the ball, and Pelkowski commits the foul.
You'll see a bunch of happy kids along that bench, and you see Joe Hillman right there, Dan Dockage, Todd Jadlow, Tate Slock, look at Jamal Meeks, Jay Edwards. These kids have worked awful hard. As I mentioned before, nobody expected anything but maybe a second division finish in the conference. They led it all the way and are going to win the championship today. Still one game to go at Iowa.
Well, as they were picked to finish 5th in 2 polls, 6th in another poll. Delosio on the way, it won't go. There it is. Big Ten championship to the Hoosiers with a 75-64 victory over the Wisconsin Badgers tonight here at Assembly Hall. We'll be back to check the scoring and review tonight's game in just a minute.
All right, then call me when the dust settles. Right. Frank, haven't seen you in a while.
Bob, who do I talk to about those CDs you're advertising?
CDs? I thought you were sold on market timing.
Don't remind me.
At Bank One, we think the time is right for our federally insured savings plans and CDs to protect your money and earn high interest rates guaranteed.
Yeah, you're right. It feels great to have some money in the bank.
Bank One, 18,000 people who care.
Every new Chevrolet Corsica is protected by a 3-year, 50,000-mile bumper-to-bumper plus warranty. Because we know when you've got a family, you don't need anything else to worry about.
The heartbeat of America.
That's today's Chevrolet.
Not only has the new fuel-injected Chevrolet Corsica LT helped bring down the cost of performance, it's also been designed to handle something many sports sedans can't. Your family.
75-64, Indiana with the win. They go to 25-5, 15-2 in the conference. Balance scoring for the Hoosiers. Eric Anderson with 19, Todd Jadlow with 18, Joe Hillman 17, Jay Edwards with 15, and then it dropped off very drastically. We will continue with our postgame in a moment. You're watching the Indiana University Basketball Network. Indiana wins 75-64.
Gerald.
Boss, back from vacation already?
I was worried about business, Gerald. Who are they?
New sales techniques?
Like these ridiculously low price tags?
Yeah, I'm having a 3-day sale.
Really? What's on sale?
Everything.
Everything? Oh.
Like this RCA 19-inch portable color TV, just $177. Highland's 3-day sale, where everything, and I mean everything, is on sale.
Pella presents the difference between ordinary windows and windowscaping. Windows. Windowscaping. Windows. Windowscaping. If you like what you see, talk to the windowscaping experts only at your Pella window store.
Discover the Pella difference at one of these locations near you.
Wisconsin had 3 in double figures. Trent Jackson and Danny Jones. Jones fouled out with 8 minutes remaining. Each had 16 points. Tom Molaski had 10. Then it dropped to 7, 6, and 3 for the Badgers, finishing with 64 points. 4 players fouled out of the game for the Wisconsin Badgers. And the big one, of course, was Danny Jones. That came at the 8-minute mark. We'll continue after we hear from our local stations. This is the Indiana University Basketball Network.
For the pride, for the dream, for the love, and for the team, for the sweat and for the drive, for the reason you strive.
For all you do, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood aged Budweiser.
It's a gamble. Each Each spring, they wonder what the weather and what the price of things will bring. But it's the only work most farmers know, and there isn't anything else they'd rather do. There have been better times than now. A few have been worse. But self-reliance makes you a survivor. The next time you sit down to a meal, remember the hard-working folks that put food on our tables. Your local Chevy dealers salute farmers.
To the heartbeat of America.
At Taco Bell, spare change can turn nachos into our new Nacho Supreme. Because for just a little more than our regular nachos, you get beef, beans, tomatoes, and all the flavor you could ask for. So chip in and try the new Nacho Supreme today. At just 99 cents, it won't be around for long. Taco Bell has the road to make a run for the border.
And don't forget the original Taco Bell taco for just 59 cents.
After all those meetings in Minneapolis and conventions in Kansas City, we think you could use a little change of pace. And after 40,000 miles in TWA's frequent flyer program, that's just what you get. Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are.
Because sometimes the shortest distance between 2 points is not a line, TWA created the Advanced Boarding Pass. Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are.
You fans will get an opportunity to hear this postgame, the tribute to the seniors, immediately following the Purdue-Ohio State game. As our final get-together for the year, it's really been a pleasure. Look forward to next week.
Sure do, Chuck. The kids played great.
Okay, that's it. Final score. Indiana wins it, and the Big Ten championship final here, 75-64. Indiana University basketball brought to you in part by your Central Indiana Chevy dealers. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy. By Bank One, we're 18,000 people who care. And by Budweiser, Beechwood Aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Indiana University basketball has also been brought to you in part by Hooks, dependable drugstores.
Hi, this is Gary Lee. Just to reiterate what Chuck Marlowe has said, do not want any of you to miss any of the enthusiasm as we recognize the seniors from Assembly Hall. That all comes your way following Ohio State and Purdue coming up next.
The 1989 Sedan DeVille was designed in the classic Cadillac style.
For kids, they've been here, some of them as many as 5 years. They've worked like hell. They've done a great job in the practice floor. They've done a great job when they've played. It's been a great group of kids for us to have here during the time each has been a part of Indiana basketball.
Hi, I'm Gary Lee. As has become tradition after the final home game at Assembly Hall, we always honor the seniors. So we welcome you back. Let's go back now to Assembly Hall for highlights of this evening's senior recognition.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the sports writers over there for picking us so low this year. You know, it really gave us an incentive, really, to work hard. And, you know, no one gave us a second chance, and here we are. We've got a picture of the ring in our locker right now, and before long, we're going to be wearing it. So I say thanks to all you guys. These guys here, what more can you say? Cree Smith and Mike, people don't notice what they do for the team. It's unbelievable. The support they give us and the encouragement, practice. I could sit here and go on and on about them. You really can't describe in words how much they mean to this team. And Magnus and Brian and Joe, they've been through it all here, just like I have, and the people here sitting over there on the bench have. I really don't want to go in about all that, but it's been worth it. To get on with this, I'd like to thank assistant coaches. People really don't understand how much time that they put in and how much they really do care about you. I know when they get on us a lot, but they're really looking out for the best for us. I know Joby's been on me since the day one I got here, and A lot of times he may not think that I respect that, but I really do, and I'd like to say thanks for that, Coach. That goes Coach Locke and Felling, How'd He Get It, and Dan Dockage. It's a little inside joke. I think Keith said something about that last year. Every time you see Felling in practice, like, how'd he get it? How'd he get it? How'd he get the ball? So he's been on everyone too. And to get on with this, I'd like to thank Coach Knight for giving me the opportunity to come here and play. It's been great. I really can't say that, you know I'd do it all over again if I had the chance. It's been a great 4 years. We've got 3 championship rings. I don't think anyone else could ask for any more than that. We worked hard, and I know he's worked hard too. And I'd like to go on. I'd like to thank my parents, my mom and my dad, my sister, my grandma for making it here, and for all their support. I know they kept me going when times have been rough. I'd also like to thank my uncles, Tim and Tom, and my aunt, Laura. I could go on, but I just at least want to mention them. Let me think. Oh yeah, I promised a couple guys I'd mention their name, and I'd like to say thanks to Adam Gross, Steve Libertosi. Yeah. He's got a few fans here. And Jeff Borglund and Carolyn Skirvin for all the support they've given me since I've been here. I really appreciate that. You really learn what true friends are here. You know, when you're playing bad, you know, you really find out what a friend's all about. I know there's something else I probably forgot, but I'd like to thank the guys at Crosstown Barbershop for taking care of us. Harold. Well, anyway, thank you for all your support and all the letters you've sent the team, and it really means a lot to us. And hopefully we'll go down to Iowa and get this next one and find us in Seattle. Thank you.
I'd like to start out just by saying it's unbelievable. Your first year here, you get to see Dan Dockage, Nube Blob talk on the microphone, and now you get to see Dan on the bench. He's a coach. He's your coach. You got to listen to the guy now. It's unbelievable. A lot of people don't, understand what it is to get up here and talk in front of everybody. And everybody says, you're not going to believe the feeling you have when you get up and talk in front of the microphone, but until you get up here now, I don't know what to say. I'm all tongue-tied. I've got everything planned. But I would like to thank a lot of people, too, because there's been a lot of people here that have helped me in my 5 years. And a lot of the guys have already mentioned some of them. But before I start, I'd like to say thanks to a guy who isn't here, who is at home right now, maybe watching this on TV, that everybody missed tonight. It's Jeff Olfen. He had knee surgery. He had knee surgery, and I know he'd like to be here, as much as anybody would, but I'd like to thank him. He's been my roommate for 2 years, and Scott Dolson, who's also been my roommate. They're unbelievable helps to me, and they put up with me. What can I say? I'd also like to thank Monina and Dr. Sanglang, who've been unbelievable help and support to a lot of the guys on the team. And the support they give us is fantastic. The people that give us support are just unbelievable. I see another one of my friends up there, Kelly, who's given me unbelievable support throughout the years. And Bill Sayer and his family have been giving me unbelievable support, and a lot of these other guys' support throughout the years. And I could go on thanking people, but a couple people I'd like to thank the most I'd like to thank. My dad came all the way from Utah. And my mom and sister came all the way from Florida. Thank you very much. I love you all. for this season, getting back to that, has been fantastic. Everybody counted us out before the ball was even dropped. And you can look no further than these guys over here, the coaching staff, these fantastic guys over here, Coach Knight who's in the locker room. We never doubted ourselves. We always had belief in Coach Knight. If we just listened to what he said and what he wanted done, we would get the job done. And look where we are now. We're Big Ten champions. It's unbelievable. Everybody thought, you know, that Indiana's going to finish 7th, 8th in the Big Ten, and here we are. And a lot of the credibility goes to the fans because you've stayed behind us. A lot of fans wouldn't even came to the gym, but you guys came to the gym and you supported us when we were down, and I think it paid off for you too. One more thing, I don't know if anybody's going to mention these people, but these people are definitely unsung heroes as far as Indiana basketball is concerned, and it's our unbelievable managing staff. We got great managers that do a tremendous job, and they don't get any notoriety. And thank you, each and every one of you guys. I've taken up far too much time, and I know Joe's got a lot to say, but all I got to say to everybody is thank you.
First of all, I'd like to start this off by thanking my parents and coming out, my brother. I'd also like to thank my roommate for putting up with me for a while. It's been a tough 4 years with him, but he's all right. And then we also had another straggler live with us for a semester, Andy Nugent. I'd like to thank him. The one thing that's so great about coming here, when I came here from California 5 years ago, and the whole thing was I came on my visit, came to an exhibition game and saw you people, how enthusiastic it was and how much the people love basketball here compared to California, and that made me come right then and there. And I want to thank all you people. I want to thank all you people, and you can ask, there's some California guys in here today. Bob Clement, I see him right here, Jim Reams, and a couple of my dad's friends, they're here. You can ask them what this is compared to anything out in California, and they'll tell you this is the best place to come and watch a basketball game in the country. One thing about this team that I'd like to let everybody know about, that I've been here on 5 teams now. We've gone through some hard times. First year I was here, second year we improved. Third year we won the national champion. And last year a lot of things were expected of us, and we had a tough year. Things didn't go as we would like, and this year is the direct opposite. Everybody counted us out, and we come around, turned this around, and had just a great season. One thing I'd like to say, though, this team, with all the seniors and all the underclassmen, there's never been a team that I've been around that's had so much fun together, not so much on the court, but off the court, too. We've really gotten along well, and I think that's been one of the keys to our success this season, because we have a lot of fun. I thought, you know, and I was all prepared to go to the instructional league and not come back and play my 5th year, but he was real good about it. He said, yeah, do it. I got no problem with you showing up November 1st. And, you know, I remember my mom saying, God, why do you want to go back? And I said, hey, why not? I mean, you never know what's going to happen. And look what happened now. We're the Big Ten champ. Also like to thank all the assistant coaches, Jovi, Ron, Tates, Julio, Danny, everybody, right on down the line. I remember when I first got here, Jovi's always giving me a hard time because I wore his number, and hopefully I've done what he wanted me to do with this number, and you know, it goes right on. These guys work awfully hard. They set up tapes for us, and that's one thing. Everybody said that we don't have the most talent in the league, but I'll tell you what, we're the most prepared, and if we do what they say, and it's just been a great example of what can happen when you do what's prepared for and execute. Also like to mention, when the 5-year seniors were here, Danny was a senior, and it was a difficult year for everybody involved, and Danny did the best job that he could possibly do, and he, I think, more than anybody, he really helped me as far as getting guys to try to do what you wanted done. And Danny used to knock me around. I used to say, God, I don't even know if this dockage, I can't even stand this guy. And now I consider him one of my best friends. So Dan, thanks a lot. Also like to thank the Ecksteins for all the support they've given me in the last 3 years. Thank you very much. You students and all the other fans that are here, you guys are unbelievable. You guys have stuck with us even when we lost and got beat by 20 and 30 points at the start of the season. You guys around campus were saying, hey, good job when we were starting to win, and it really kept everybody's spirits high, and we appreciate that. Thanks. There's a lot of people that have already been mentioned that have been thanked, and you know, I go with most of those. I'm with most of those people and see them, and I agree with all that. A couple people that weren't mentioned were Jay Sears and Warren McGuire for doing all the stuff that takes to get our uniforms and all the equipment set up. They put up with our hassling about getting new shoes and knew this and knew that, and I just want to thank you guys. And last but not least, hey, spring break starts when? Friday? The hell with Friday. Let's go out and have some fun tonight. Thank you.
One of the highlights of any college basketball season at Indiana is the chance to hear from the seniors following the last home game in Assembly Hall, and this year they conclude their home series as Big Ten champions with their victory tonight over Wisconsin. Now, we'll have some more of those comments on our pregame show on Saturday. And speaking of Saturday, a big day for basketball here on Channel 4. Ted Kitchell and I will be along with the Indiana pregame at 12:30 as the Hoosiers travel to Iowa City to visit the Hawkeyes to wrap up the Big Ten Conference before NC2A tournament play. Then Saturday at 8, it's Hoosier Hysteria, high school basketball variety, the Hinkle Regional Championship, Saturday at 8. And following that contest, we go back to Big Ten action with Northwestern at Purdue at 10 o'clock. So once again, our congratulations to Bob Knight and the Hoosiers, Big Ten champions at 15-2, a team that really was not picked to fare much better than maybe 5th or 6th in the conference. So that is our special show this evening. More comments from the players coming up on the pregame on Saturday. I'm Gary Lee. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned now for the special edition of the Channel 4 10 o'clock news.
You're watching WTTV Channel 4. And now, Indiana's only primetime newscast.